तो टुडे विल बी डूइंग सम पोर्शन ऑन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हम दो पार्ट्स में करेंगे। आज वाला एक बुकलेट फ्यूचर में, नॉट टुमारो। आई वांट टू स्टार्ट पॉलिटी टुमारो। मतलब आई नीड 6 क्लासेस फॉर पॉलिटी, 3 दिस वीक एंड 3 नेक्स्ट वीक टू कवर पॉलिटी करंट अफेयर्स। पॉलिटी में देखो, एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, करंट अफेयर्स वुड नॉट बी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। व्हाट वुड बी इंपॉर्टेंट वुड बी योर बेसिक सेक्शन। ओके, तो कल से आपका पॉलिटी का आरटीएफ, कल या परसों से, मतलब आर पॉलिटी टीचर स्वामीनाथन सर वुड बी डीलिंग विद इट। वो 500 क्वेश्चंस करवाएंगे, सो दैट आई फोकस ओनली ऑन टीचिंग। ऐसे ही मॉडर्न इंडिया का भी आरटीएफ आपका स्टार्ट हो रहा है। दिस वुड स्टार्ट दिस मंडे। तो विशाल सर विल बी टेकिंग मॉडर्न इंडिया का, जो आपके मैं आई इंश्योर्ड कि वो पोर्शन स्टार्ट हो जो आपके टेस्ट में चल रहा है। आपके टेस्ट में भी पॉलिटी मॉडर्न इंडिया चल रहा है, तो यू विल ऑल्सो बी एबल टू अटेम्प्ट दोज आरटीएफ। ओके, तो अगर वो क्लास से जस्ट पहले नहीं हो पाता है, आई ट्राई टू डू गेट दिस डन, कि वो क्लास से जस्ट पहले हो जाए। इन केस दिस दैट डजंट हैपन जस्ट बिफोर क्लास, यू डू इट ऑनलाइन, बट डू इट सीरियसली, अच्छे से पॉलिटी एंड मॉडर्न इंडिया का भी आरटीएफ करिएगा। ओके, तो टुडे विल बी स्टार्टिंग विद इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। एम आई ऑडिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू? सबको आवाज आ रही है ना? टुडे विल बी स्टार्टिंग विद इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। नाउ दिस इज चैप्टर 12 ऑफ इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया। इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया वी हैव कवर्ड ऑल दी चैप्टर्स, बस एक जो इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर रह गया था, दैट वाज चैप्टर 12। So chapter 12 will be doing in 2 parts, and as like industry, in this chapter also we will do other current affairs too, not only what is given in economic survey of India, पर पूरे साल में जो भी दूसरा important current affairs है, we are doing along with this only. Okay, so we know at the time of mains examination we would have studied ki for the growth of any country, infrastructure is very crucial. Without infrastructure, without roads, without railways, without electricity, without energy, we won't be able to develop. And therefore over the years various steps have been taken, but abhi jo recently steps लिए जा रहे हैं उसमें सबसे important steps हैं, जैसे national infrastructure pipeline या national monetization pipeline, gati shakti national logistic policy which was brought in 2022. These are the focus areas that we want to cover. That these are the focus areas of this booklet, broadly what we will be covering in this booklet. Plus this time economic survey of India in the infrastructure chapter is also dealing with digital infrastructure. The digital infrastructure वाला portion is not in this booklet. I'll give you in the next booklet. As I've told you, infrastructure के लिए हम 2 booklets करेंगे, so it would be covered in the future booklet. Now if we we'll come to all those aspects, national infrastructure pipeline and everything, but before that, most of the investment that has come from private sector in infrastructure, जैसे roads में, railways में, earlier roads, railways, everything was being built by government only because they are eventually owned by government. तो private sector के contribution को mobilize करने के लिए public private partnership initiatives have been launched, है ना? Through public private partnerships, government gets support from private sector also. It can be in the form of funding, it can be in the form of design, it can be in the form of operations. Private sector brings efficiency, private sector brings that perspective of profitability, and because of that the PPP projects are completed on time. Like आप road construction कर रहे हो, अगर government agencies ही कर रही होंगी तो it would be delayed, there would be corruption, there would be other such problems. Private sector would bring those advantages, and therefore to support these PPP projects, अब ये PPP projects, various types of PPP projects हम पढ़ेंगे, जैसे हम roadways में जाएंगे तो we'll study various types of PPP projects, but to support PPP projects government has various initiatives. For example, अभी ये क्या फिर से शुरू हो गया? We have this public private partnership appraisal committee, PPPAC, public private partnership appraisal committee. इस बॉडी के बारे में हमें पता होना चाहिए. It is this body which is responsible for approving any PPP project. अगर ये बॉडी अच्छे से काम कर रही होगी तो the PPP project would be appraised in a timely manner, उसका अप्रूवल टाइमली हो सकता है, राइट? तो हियर यू विल सी, इसके बारे में फॉर प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन वी शुड नो कि दिस बॉडी इज चेयर्ड बाय सेक्रेटरी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स. इट आल्सो हैव सेक्रेटरीज ऑफ डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर, डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ लीगल अफेयर्स एंड द स्पॉन्सरशिप मिनिस्ट्री डिपार्टमेंट इन सीओ. तो स्पॉन्सरशिप मिनिस्ट्री मींस इफ द पीपीपी प्रोजेक्ट इज ऑफ रोडवेज, तो स्पॉन्सरशिप मिनिस्ट्री कौन सी होगी? रोडवेज की। पीपीपी प्रोजेक्ट इज ऑफ रेलवेज, तो स्पॉन्सरशिप मिनिस्ट्री कौन सी होगी? रेलवेज की। तो दोस मिनिस्ट्रीज, देयर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स आर आल्सो देयर. It is this body which has streamlined appraisal mechanism. Earlier, when ministries had to directly deal with the appraisal thing, because this is a specialized body for this particular purpose, they ensure effective management of PPP projects. Now, so far, if you'll see, go to Economic Survey of India, you will see that between FY 2015 and FY 23, this body has cleared 79 projects with a total project cost of 2,27,000 crore rupees. So, the numbers as such are not important, because we are ensuring the Economic Survey of India ke dimensions get covered here. It's there, but this body, what this body is, what are its, who is chairing this body, who are its members, what is its purpose, we should be aware of this. वो bodies से related questions आते हैं ना exam में, for that reason we should be aware of this. Now, there is a scheme, Viability Gap Funding Scheme, VGF scheme, 2006. This Viability Gap Funding Scheme is again focused on PPP projects. There are various PPP projects which may not be economically viable, but they are crucial for country's development. And now they can be economic projects, they can be social projects. अब health sector में कोई project है, education sector में कोई project है, financially it will not give you any benefit, but implementation of that project is important. So this scheme provides it that viability gap fund. Viability gap fund का मतलब जो फाइनेंशियल लैग रह गया है उस प्रोजेक्ट में, उसको फुलफिल करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट हैज दिस इनिशिएटिव, वायबिलिटी गैप फंड स्कीम, तो टू प्रोवाइड फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस टू फाइनेंशियली अनवायबल बट सोशली और इकोनॉमिकली, देखिए, सोशली और इकोनॉमिकली डिजायरेबल पीपीपी प्रोजेक्ट. So under this scheme, economic sector projects may get up to 40% of the capex as VGF, whereas social sector projects may get much higher viability gap funding. Economic sector project है तो इतना भी ज्यादा economic gap नहीं होना चाहिए. Therefore, the VGF is 40% of the capex. Like कितना capital spend करना है उसका 40. If the project is of let's say 1,000 crore rupees, so up to 40% of that may come from this scheme to support the project. But in case of social sector projects, the number may be higher, because social sector projects में तो viability होने के chances और reduce हो जाते हैं when compared to economic sector projects. तो under social sector projects, viability gap funds have two categories or two sub schemes, sub scheme 1 and sub scheme 2. Sub scheme 1 deals with things like wastewater management, water supply, solid waste management. ये directly economic initiatives नहीं है, ये social sector में initiative है. And here you will see the project under this category should have at least 100% operational cost recovery. Now, capex करके आपने project implement करना तो शुरू किया, but at the time it is operating, the revenue that it should generate should be able to take care of its operation. Because viability gap funding से आपने इस प्रोजेक्ट को फंड कर दिया, सिस्टम डेवलप कर दिया, बट उसके बाद you cannot keep giving money forever. So for these kind of projects, it should have at least 100% operational cost recovery. Government will provide maximum 30% of the total project cost as VGF, and the state government may provide another 30%. This is category 1 of social sector वाला VGF. VGF में we have economic schemes, we have social schemes. Social वाले में the first part, type 1. Type 2, if you'll go, focuses on, or sub scheme 2 focuses on health and education sector. अब देखो health and education sector में operations के time में भी there may be problem, and government should be there to support it. So here the project under this category should have at least 50% operational cost recovery. वहां पे operational cost recovery कितना था? 100%. Here the operational cost recovery should be 50%. The government of India will provide maximum of 40% of the capex to the project and maximum of 25% of opex of the project also. The capital expenditure may be government of India may come and support, and operational expenditure may be government of India may come and support for this category of sub scheme. Okay, Manish, Manish, it would be covered. It would be covered. Please don't worry. Did we understand? तो हमने अभी तक देखो, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप टू make public private partnerships more effective. What are the key things? So first we spoke about PPPAC, and then we are talking about the viability gap funding scheme. Then third thing that we want to look at is something that was launched abhi in November 2022. Not only was it in news, but it's also covered in Economic Survey of India. Economic Survey of India ने दो ही चीजें कवर करी, एक viability gap funding और एक ये in PPP. Okay, what is this? India Infrastructure Project Development Fund, IIPDF. India Infrastructure Project Development Fund. Sir, please explain operational cost recovery once again. Okay, understand this. Let's say, beta, we have this institution LevelUp IAS. Now, to run LevelUp IAS every month, to run the operations of LevelUp IAS every month, we need, let's say, 50 lakh rupees. So we should be able to generate revenue of 50 lakh rupees. Else, for running day-to-day operation also, we will need government support. That will not be allowed. Right? 100% operational cost recovery का मतलब ये हुआ. Now, capex क्या होता? Initially, to start the institution, we would have needed to buy some infrastructure, some laptops, some of those things. वो हमारा capital expenditure होता. Then every month or the operational expenses that we have is OPEX, operational expenditure. Did you understand? किसने पूछा? ऋतु ने पूछा था. सर सब स्कीम 1 and 2 कहीं पे रहेगी तो 80% कैपेक्स नहीं, अप टू 80% कैपेक्स मिल सकता है. वो कैसे मिल सकता है? यू विल सी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट सेज दैट वी विल फंड यू अप टू दिस मच. Beyond that, state governments or by other initiatives, capex could be available. Okay, now come back to this India Infrastructure Project Development Fund, IIPD. अभी latest है. Now what is this? देखो, to develop projects, to develop various projects, you need help from specialized authorities like specialized bodies or agencies like उन्हें बोला जाता है. तो आप यहाँ पे आएंगे कि you need specialized consultation, you need specialized guidance. So under this initiative आपको फंड नहीं किया जाता है फॉर द प्रोजेक्ट, बट आपको फंड किया जाता है. और जैसे जो भी स्पॉन्सरिंग अथॉरिटी है, लेट्स से मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रेलवे वांट्स टू स्टार्ट अ प्रोजेक्ट और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोडवेज वांट्स टू स्टार्ट अ प्रोजेक्ट, तो उनमें जो भी स्पॉन्सरिंग अथॉरिटी होगा फॉर इनिशियल वायबिलिटी ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, दी स्पेशलाइज्ड बॉडीज दैट इट मे बी कंसल्टिंग, उनके लिए जो फी देना है दैट वुड कम अंडर, उसके लिए जो सपोर्ट दैट वुड कम फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट इट वुड कम अंडर इंडिया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट डेवलपमेंट फंड scheme which was launched in November 2022. So what is it? It's an initiative by Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, a scheme for financial support for project development expenses of PPP project development expenses of PPP projects. इसमें देखो पैसे कितने दिए गए हैं? 150 crore rupees for a period of 3 years, FY23 to FY25. Now please understand, अगर if it's only 150 crore rupees that has been given, so it is not to support a project, to fund the development of the project, but in the earlier phase of it. Are we getting it? So the aim of the scheme is to develop quality PPP projects by providing necessary funding support to project sponsoring authority both in central and state government for creating shelf of bankable viable PPP projects on boarding transaction advisors, by onboarding transaction advisors. In transaction advisors को onboard करने के लिए support is being given. I was looking for this transaction advisor initially when I got blank. So for onboarding transaction advisors, are we getting it? Are we understanding this? So please understand, 150 crore rupees, 150 crore rupees में they're not going to go and fund a road in 3 years. 150 crore rupees भी मिले 3 साल के लिए. So purpose is to create shelf of these projects. उसके बाद the sponsoring authority will mobilize resources, will develop mechanisms to how to implement the project. But first वो project finalize हो with the help of these transaction advisors. Are we getting this? Are we understanding this? So now कितना fund दिया गया है? Any funding requirement of over and above rupees 5 crore may be sponsored, may be provided by project sponsoring authority only. यहाँ पे for a particular project more than 5 crore rupees will not be provided. Under this scheme, for a particular project, more than 5 crore rupees will not be provided. Are we understanding this? Are we all understanding this? Are we all getting this? Okay. So these were few initiatives which have been taken recently to support PPP projects. Now, please note that these PPP projects PPP initiatives that we have dealt with, here we have not specifically gone in a sector. Abhi we will talk about PPP when we specifically go in roadways, when we specifically go in railways, when we specifically go in port sector. उन सब में PPP अलग से discuss करेंगे, but these are broad initiatives for in general what is happening in general supporting public-private partnership projects. Now, national infrastructure pipeline. The biggest initiative that we have taken in the infrastructure sector would be this. In 2020, it was estimated that India needs to spend around 100 lakh crore rupees over the next 5 years to ensure that हमारा infrastructure development इतना हो कि we reach towards $5 trillion economy का target. So, national infrastructure pipeline was launched so that we'll be spending around 111 lakh crore under this, and we'll be spending around 111 lakh crore in this period. Which period? 2020 to 25 वाले period में we'll be spending 111 lakh crore on infrastructure development. And national infrastructure pipeline provides a plan for it, provides a number of projects under it, and it is through this, it is under national infrastructure pipeline, roadways, railways, energy sector, इन सबके projects implement हो रहे हैं. If you look at the key highlights, तो पहला बात तो यही है 2020 से 2025 के बीच में 111 lakh crore rupees would be spent. It also envisages to improve project preparation and attract investment both domestic and foreign infrastructure. As of now, ये Economic Survey of India से data है. There are around 9,000 projects with a total investment of rupees 108 lakh crore, which are under different stages of implementation. तो जो हमने 111 lakh crores की बात करी है, that is actually getting done under it. This is again an image which I have taken from Economic Survey of India, which is saying that these are the projects which are under conceptualization, these are the projects under development, and these are the projects under implementation. Okay, now एक और चीज नोट करिए that it is transport sector, roadways, railways, waterways, which is getting most of the funds, which is having highest number of projects. Are we understanding this? तो ये factually prelims में जब पूछ लिया जाता है ना कि national infrastructure pipeline में which of the following sector is getting highest fund, और यहाँ पे 4-5 ऑप्शन दे दिए जाएंगे, energy, logistics, social infrastructure, transport sector, water and sanitation. You should, one thing, like we'll not remember the exact order, but one thing that should be clear about is transportation is getting the highest amount of funds under national infrastructure pipeline. So under national infrastructure pipeline, initially हम 100 lakh crore से शुरू कर, तो eventually we between 2020 and 25 we have planned कि we'll be spending 111 lakh crore rupees under these different infrastructure sectors, and इसमें transport is getting most of the money. And this 111 lakh crore rupee is being funded by central government, state government, as well as from private contribution. A lot of projects are PPP projects also. So a lot of private contribution is also there. There is money which is coming in the form of loan. There is money which is coming from other mechanism. Government itself cannot spend 111 lakh crore rupees. We understand that, right? हमने अपना बजट देखा था 45 लाख करोड़ रुपीस का था, एक साल का बजट 45 लाख करोड़ रुपए का. The government will not be able to spend 111 lakh crore rupees in this infrastructure at its own, right? For making NIP projects more effective, to increase their efficiency, to improve their implementation, some other initiatives have been launched. जैसे we have Invest India Grid. The NIP, National Infrastructure Pipeline, is hosted on this platform. Which platform? Invest India Grid. So it is through this platform you can see the progress of the project. It is through this. This is a centralized portal to track and review project progress across all economic and social infrastructure subsectors of NIP. It also provides the project sponsoring authority to showcase investment opportunities to national and international investors. It is through this platform you can show the investors कि देखो भाई इतने सारे projects चल रहे हैं, you can invest in these projects. So it can also be used for showcase purpose. So what is this? Invest India Grid, which is a platform where all the NIP projects can be showcased, can be reviewed, can be studied. Invest India Grid. देखो अब now like this there are hundreds of platforms which are there, which are being used by government of India, but studying all that and they may be in news also, please understand, क्योंकि अलग अलग स्कीम के लिए अलग अलग प्लेटफॉर्म्स न्यूज में रहेंगे, but studying all that will not serve us a lot. ROI would be very less. So what we are trying to ensure is जो सबसे important documents है, economic documents हैं, economic survey of India, budget, from there whatever these whichever bodies, whichever portals are being discussed, we will have them on our tips, or we will study them so that if they get asked, we'll do it. If anything else is asked, again चांसेस कि किसी और ने भी पढ़ा होगा और याद भी रखा होगा वुड बी नेग्लिजिबल. ओके, देन प्रोजेक्ट मॉनिटरिंग ग्रुप. इन्वेस्ट इंडिया ग्रिड देखा. प्रोजेक्ट मॉनिटरिंग ग्रुप इज अ institutional mechanism which has been put in place for resolution of issues related to large scale projects. Resolution of issues, कोई complaints हैं, concerns हैं, under NIP only. NIP में बहुत सारे projects implement हो रहे हैं. Under NIP, if there are issues in projects, how can the project implementation authority reach government quickly? One mechanism is this. It is also involved in fast tracking of approvals, clearances for projects. आपका डिले हो रहा है तो उसमें इसे भी फास्ट ट्रैक कर सकते हैं with an anticipated investment of rupees 500 crore and above. Now it has been proposed to integrate NIP and PMG portals. PMG portal will pick up data as per requirement. Project cost of rupees 500 crore or more from the NIP database. This will save substantial time and effort by ministries and states and UTs and ease monitoring of large scale projects effectively. Okay, so this was project monitoring group or PMG. नाम में ही देखो project monitoring group से we should be able to think about what it is. Important thing that you should remember is both of these, project monitoring group and Invest India Grid, are associated with national infrastructure pipeline. Are we getting this? Okay, now let's go to PM Gati Shakti. Now, to understand the purpose of PM Gati Shakti, we have to first understand कि देखो what happens is if you how many of you live in ORN? हेलो हाथ सारे. अमित कहाँ रहते हो? अच्छा आप दिल्ली से ही हो क्या? Okay. How many of you live in ORN? आपके घर के आगे खुदाई उदाई होती रहती है कुछ ना कुछ, like because sometimes those electricity people would come, उन्हें तार बिछानी है. Sometimes the water supply people would come, they'll sometimes the sanitation people will come, उन्हें गटर की सफाई करनी है. उसके बाद वो रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन वाले भी कभी कभी आ जाते हैं कि हम रोड ठीक कर देंगे. तो बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेशन अमंग दीज अथॉरिटीज we end up spending a lot of money unnecessarily. If when the road project in ORN was being planned, or when road development in ORN was being planned कि हम roads को refurbish करेंगे, if there was proper coordination between the, let's say, the piped gas supply करने वाली body, sanitation वाली body, electricity supply वाली body, and so on, then in a stratified manner all of them could have worked. अभी even for everyone cost increases. रोड वाले रोड बना के चले जाते हैं, उसे आपको पाइप बिछाने के लिए पहले वो तोड़ना पड़ रहा है, तोड़ने का कॉस्ट, फिर आप पाइप बिछा के आप तो चले जाते हो, or you may have to repair the road, but that repair is not as effective. So we face this issue because of lack of coordination, because of proper planning. Gati Shakti is focused on promoting this plan. It's kind of a online portal through which coordination happens among different ministries, different infrastructure ministries. Are we understanding? So PM Gati Shakti is aimed at breaking departmental silos and bring more holistic and integrated planning and execution of projects with a view to address the issue of multimodal connectivity and last mile connectivity. It will bring down logistic cost and would benefit consumers in long run. देखो, what is it? Under PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan, there is an entailment of creation of a common umbrella platform. with all infrastructure projects pertaining to various ministries, departments incorporated within a comprehensive database of for efficient planning, implementation, and on real-time basis. So a common umbrella platform would be there, jahan pe all these projects are being brought. Now, what happens when you are planning road project? You understand कि वहां पे और क्या क्या होने का प्लान है. So better coordination can happen with those ministries. Okay, will this reduce the cost of project? For everyone, for all the ministries, this would be beneficial. It can also save time. Because आप ऐसे ही जाके रोड तोड़ना नहीं शुरू कर देते, आप यू हैव टू लुक एट उसके नीचे और क्या जा रहा है, कहाँ पे क्या होगा. तो ऑल दोज थिंग्स टेक्स टाइम. Through this portal, you'll not only be able to save cost, you'll also be able to deal with systematically step wise manner में पहले ये होगा, फिर ये होगा, फिर ये होगा, to reduce the cost project. Now, here the projects which have been brought under PM Gati Shakti entails to roads, railways, airports, mass transportation, waterways, logistic infrastructure, which are a part of NIP. It will be aligned with PM Gati Shakti framework. The touchstone of the project is high quality modern infrastructure and logistic synergy among different modes of movement, both people and goods. In order to facilitate integrated planning and coordination, a master plan has been created. Under this master plan, you would see as per Economic Survey of India, there are 22 ministries and departments and 950 data layers which have been created. These are the number of different kinds of projects which may be getting implemented. 950 data layers. It has been created, and now you can understand if a project has to be started, what are the different things which are going on here to implement that project effectively. It can be integrated with various applications of different ministries, agencies to prevent duplication of work. For example, let's say already roadways ministry ka koi database hai where they are planning ki these are the roads that we want to create. So this PM Gati Shakti master plan ke andar jo platform ban raha hai, it can be integrated with the existing database of the ministries so that अब वो स्क्रैच से दोबारा से डेटाबेस क्रिएट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. And the portal will allow various government departments to track in real time and at one centralized place the progress of various projects, especially those with multi-sectoral or multi-regional impact. This gives every department ministry a visibility into other departments. This will enable various government departments to synchronize their efforts in multimodal. Idea, आपको आइडिया समझ में आया? We can keep studying these aspects, but PM Gati Shakti का आइडिया समझ में आया? Now, there are 6 pillars of PM Gati Shakti. Comprehensiveness. Are we understanding the idea of comprehensiveness? When we are looking at a project, we are looking at various other dimensions of it in a comprehensive manner. Prioritization. What needs to be prioritized first? Multimodal projects है तो वहाँ पे roadways पहले जाएगा और railways का track बनेगा. Prioritization in that sense. Optimization. Optimal use of resources. Synchronization. Analytics based on, because we have a database now, so based on that we can take proper decision and dynamic decision making, real time fast track decision making. Okay, how will progress under national master plan be monitored? It will be monitored through PMG under DP IIT. It will be looking into it. And how are interministerial issues going to be resolved? अच्छा, interministerial issues are now going to be resolved through PM Gati Shakti. पर पहले ना ministries आपस में problems create कर रही होती थी. तो at regular meetings of the infrastructure related ministries, PM Pragati के through ये issues resolve होते थे, but they used to be time consuming. Now Gati Shakti will reduce the human intervention required, and through online system only these issues could be resolved. These issues could be in a fast track manner dealt with. Who has built the portal? PM Gati Shakti का जो online portal है, it has been built by Bhaskaracharya Institute of Space Application and Geoinformatics. ये pre के लिए ये भी थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखें. Okay, are we all comfortable with this? Now, Indian Bureau of Mines to create individual portal for Mines Ministry under PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan. हमने बोला था कि there can be different databases which can all be integrated with PM Gati Shakti. तो PM Gati Shakti के ही line पे this Ministry of Mine, Indian Bureau of Mine is creating individual portal for mines, where different mines which are under development, which have been mined in the past, उन सबका database would be created. So here you will see that there are 2 data layers which have already been created. The first layer covers the spatial data of mineral concession, which included existing mine lease and existing composite license granted through auction. whereas the second layer includes mineral auction block which have been auctioned successfully but execution of mining lease is pending. For now, these two data layers have been created, but eventually more layers would be created, and this can also go into PM Gati Shakti, because जिन areas में mining हो रहा होगा वहाँ other activities में also need to happen, तो proper integrated manner में things may happen. So this was in news recently. So this is not as such very important, but ये ना हमें understanding दे रहा है कि how different ministries may create their own databases and then it can be integrated with PM Gati. Okay, then we have Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya. Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya. So there was this Central Universities Amendment Bill which was passed by Parliament recently. What this Central University Amendment Bill does, एक ना गुजरात में there is a university, National Rail and Transportation University. This was National Rail and Transportation Institute, which has been given the status of autonomous central university through this amendment and is being called Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya. What? National Rail Transport Institution. अब ये सेंट्रल ऑटोनोमस सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी बन गई है एंड इट इज बीइंग कॉल्ड गति शक्ति विश्वविद्यालय. व्हाट इज द पर्पस? देखो, नेशनल रेल एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन यूनिवर्सिटी था, यूनिवर्सिटी है, एजुकेशन के लिए होगा, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स क्रिएशन के लिए होगा, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए होगा. इसको बस ऑटोनोमस स्टेटस दे दिया गया है. What will it do? It will create human resource. As infrastructure in India improves, we'll need more and more human resource for that improvement, right? We'll need to do more R&D on various transportation sector. This institution would be focused on that. So now it's a autonomous central university. Autonomous central university है. इनके पहले chancellor भी appoint हो गए हैं अपने रेलवे मिनिस्टर अश्विनी वैष्णव. He is the first chancellor of this autonomous university. अभी दिसंबर में he was appointed. उससे पहले आप देखेंगे there are some more things that we should note. The university will be conducted by or will be run by Ministry of Railways and coordinated under the National Education Policy of Education Ministry. It would focus on things like transport focused courses and applied research on the subjects like bridges, tunnels, material science, artificial intelligence, new energy, etc. Are we all understanding this? Are we all comfortable about this? So this Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya और गति शक्ति यूनिवर्सिटी कहाँ पे है, उसका क्या स्टेटस है, चांसलर कौन है इसका, ऑल दीज फैक्चुअल थिंग्स फॉर प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जामिनेशन हमें पता होनी चाहिए. बिकॉज अभी चांसलर तो अभी दिसंबर में ही बने. दिस बिल वाज पास्ड इन अगस्त. दिस सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटीज अमेंडमेंट बिल वाज पास्ड इन अगस्त 2022. सो वी मस्ट बी knowing this. Now we come to national monetization. What is national monetization? हाँ, he is asking a question, Manish, but Chancellor of Central University is President of India ex officio. नहीं, इस केस में नहीं है. यहाँ पे it's under Ministry of Railway. Ministry of Railway will be dealing with it, and it is Railway Minister who is the Chancellor here. Now, देखो, we know about disinvestment. Disinvestment हमने Economic Survey of India में जब हम गवर्नमेंट बजटिंग वाला सेक्शन कर रहे थे, we had studied disinvestment a bit. कि गवर्नमेंट sells its asset to mobilize resources, है ना. Non-debt creating capital receipt was coming from there. But in the national monetization pipeline, government aims to monetize its resources without actually selling it. For example, Ministry of Railways has a lot of land which may be lying vacant. So government will give it on lease for 30 years. Let a business use it, and that business will give government some money, and using that money, more infrastructure could be created, more assets could be created. Did we understand? Government का कोई पुराना बिल्डिंग ऐसी खाली पड़ा हुआ है, it can be given on lease. So these are not greenfield projects, brownfield projects. Government के वो assets which have already been created in the past. ऐसा नहीं है government कुछ नए assets create करके किसी को देगी. The assets which are already created in the past, the projects which have already been implemented in the past, they will be monetized not by disinvestment, but by it going on lease for long duration. And uske badle, the people who are taking it on lease would be giving a lump sum amount in the beginning, using which more infrastructure development may take. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे asset हैं. So to monetize those assets, we have created national monetization pipeline in 2020. Under this, a limited period license or lease of any asset owned by government or public agency is given to a private sector entity for upfront or periodic consideration. Achha, payment can be upfront, like entire money can be given upfront, or money can also be given in a periodic. Are we understanding this? What is happening in national monetization pipeline? Now, note certain things. Only revenue rights would be transferred and not ownership rights. The assets would still be owned by government. It has just been given on lease. Please differentiate it from disinvestment. Second, these are brownfield, already developed but underutilized public sector assets. रेलवेज का बहुत सारा लैंड है जिसे रेलवेज यूज नहीं कर पा. The private sector entity is expected to operate and maintain the asset based on the terms of the contract or concession, generating returns through higher operating efficiencies. गवर्नमेंट की ऑपरेटिंग एफिशिएंसी कम होती है ना, ब्यूरोक्रेसी के अपने प्रॉब्लम्स होते हैं, तो प्राइवेट सेक्टर वुड बी एबल टू हैव बेटर एफिशिएंसीज एंड वुड बी एबल टू जनरेट बेटर रिटर्न्स, एंड thus would not only be able to benefit itself but would be able to get more revenue for government as well. Public authority which receives the fund will invest it in new infrastructure or deploy it for other public purpose. The total indicative value of NMP, National Monetization Pipeline, से आप कितना पैसा मोबिलाइज करने का सोच रहे हो, for core assets of the central government is estimated to be 6 lakh crore over 4 years in from financial year 21, that is 2021-22 से 2024-25 वाले पीरियड. Government plans to mobilize around 6 lakh crore rupees, 5.4% of the total infrastructure investment envisaged under national infrastructure pipeline. NIP में हमने 111 लाख करोड़ बोला है, उसका around 5%. Where would the money from the money for NIP come from? Some of it would come from, around 5% of it would come from monetization pipeline. Are we getting it? Are we understanding this? Now, एक गवर्नमेंट ने बॉडी बनाई नेशनल लैंड मोनेटाइजेशन कॉर्पोरेशन. नेशनल, कुछ पूछ रहे हैं आप? पूछिए. It is revenue receipt. It's not capital receipt. It's revenue receipt. देखो, if government had created a liability or government had given up, sold some of its assets, ये तो एक तरह से आप रेंट ले रहे हो. रेंट किस टाइप का रिसिप्ट होगा? रेवेन्यू और कैपिटल? रेवेन्यू रिसिप्ट है ना. इसके बदले यू विल नॉट यूज दैट प्लेस फॉर सम टाइम, बट इट इज रेवेन्यू रिसिप्ट. डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड? ओके. नाउ, नेशनल लैंड मोनेटाइजेशन कॉर्पोरेशन. So we are talking about monetization pipeline. So national land monetization corporation, what is this? देखो, there is not only railway ministry but there are lots of bodies under government of India जिसके पास extra land पड़ा हुआ है, right? So this body has been created for monetizing that, for identifying the land. अब देखो, सारी bodies, government bodies may not be specialized. They will identify the land which is lying waste, and then they will target private sector who is interested in that, leasing that land for 30 years. They may not be specialized for that. So they have created a specialized body which will help them identify the land, find private player to lease the land, and thus generate revenue. It is National Land Monetization Corporation. Cabinet has approved the setting up of NLMC to monetize surplus land and building assets of central public sector enterprises and other agencies linked to government. It will be a fully owned. It will be fully owned by center. What will be fully owned? NLMC जो नया कॉर्पोरेशन बना है, under the administrative jurisdiction of finance ministry, it will have an initial authorized share capital of 5,000 crore and paid up share capital of 150 crore, and it will own, hold, manage and monetize surplus land and building assets of central public sector entities. NLMC will hire professionals from private sector, would pay them at the private sector के rates पे, so that best people could be hired and in best way, in the most appropriate way, land monetization may take place. NLMC समझ में आया? Then if you come to Economic Survey of India 2023, देखो what is the money mobilization that we have planned under National Monetization Pipeline? 5 साल में 4 साल में 5.4 लाख करोड़ रुपीस, 6 लाख 4 साल में 6 लाख करोड़ रुपीस, FY22 से FY25। तो देखो FY22 में वी मोबिलाइज 0.9 लाख करोड़ रुपीस, against the target of 0.9 lakh crore rupees, we mobilize 0.97 lakh crore rupees, that is 21-22 through asset monetization. Then in FY23, जब Economic Survey of India लिखा जा रहा था जनवरी में, FY23 was still going on. MMP second year of target 1.6 lakh crore rupees, इसका target था 1.6 lakh crore rupees for this financial year. What has been mobilized, वो गवर्नमेंट का डेटा आएगा कि इतने पैसे हमने मोबिलाइज कर लिए हैं, but this 1.6 lakh crore rupees is around 27% of the total target. 6 lakh crore rupees है ना total target, उसका around 27% is this. So this is what we were planning to mobilize here, and the remaining amount in FY24 and FY25 was planned to be mobilized under monetization. Not only land monetization, but the other assets may also get monetized under this pipe. So national infrastructure pipeline जो है, उसी में assets funds mobilize करने के लिए one mechanism is this monetization pipe. Do we understand? Okay. There are some older methods which were there by government for mobilizing resources for infrastructure projects. Infrastructure projects के लिए resource mobilize करना. So there was this initiative, National Investment and Infrastructure Fund, which was set up by government. This National Investment and Infrastructure Fund was kind of fund of funds where government invested some money. It asked private players, including big foreign players, to invest some money under this fund, and through this fund the plan was that we will be funding infrastructure projects. वो infrastructure projects profitable होंगे, the returns would be coming to this fund again, and it will thus help, or it will thus generate profit for private players as well as for government. But एक बड़ा fund create किया गया यहाँ पे. What was the purpose? To provide funds for infrastructure projects. Did we understand what is happening under it? Let's go into the details. National Investment and Infrastructure Fund was proposed in budget and was set up by government of budget 2015 and was set up by government of India in 2015 with a corpus of 40,000 crore rupees. In 16 or 17, I think in prelims 2017, they had asked a question कि NIIF का कितना corpus है, and the statement that they had given was 4 lakh crore. Corpus is of 40,000 crore rupees. Initial corpus was that of 40,000 crore rupees. वहां पे जो नंबर दिया हुआ था वो 4 लाख करोड़ रुपीस. तो देखो प्लीज नोट, अनलाइक इन पीसीएस एग्जामिनेशन में उन्होंने 40,000 को 50,000 करोड़ कर दिया होता, एंड देन दे वुड हैव आस्क्ड यू क्वेश्चन. यूपीएससी अगर डेटा वाला क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है तो बहुत ही ड्रास्टिक चेंज कर रहा है. 40,000 करोड़ को उन्होंने 4 लाख करोड़ कर दिया. आर वी अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस? तो ऑब्जेक्टिव टू मैक्सिमाइज इकोनॉमिक इंपैक्ट थ्रू इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट. तो इसका पर्पस इस फंड का है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट को सपोर्ट करना, both greenfield and brownfield and mainly in core area. NIF is structured as funds of funds or as an alternative investment fund under SEBI. Government of India has 49% stake. So rest of the stake किसके पास है? Rest is held by marquee foreign and domestic investors such as Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, HDFC Group. These are other organizations which are contributing to the fund. अब इस फंड से जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट में पैसे लगेंगे, तो who will take decision? The board will take decision. जो contributors हैं उसके परसेंटेज में वोटिंग राइट्स होंगे, they will take decision, and दे वुड आइडेंटिफाई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट्स व्हिच मे बी प्रॉफिटेबल, उस प्रोजेक्ट में पैसे लगाएंगे, जब पैसे वापस आएंगे तो इनको प्रॉफिट जाएगा, इन लोगों को प्रॉफिट जाएगा. दिस इज व्हाट गवर्नमेंट वाज ट्राइंग टू डू अंडर दिस इनिशिएटिव. दिस इनिशिएटिव स्टिल देयर, स्टिल इन प्ले. देन एक और इनिशिएटिव है इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट टू मोबिलाइज मोर रिसोर्सेज फॉर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेक्टर. व्हाट इज इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट? ये ना, दिस इज लाइक म्यूचुअल फंड. नाउ म्यूचुअल फंड्स में क्या होता है, आपको स्टॉक मार्केट में पैसे लगाने हैं, तो all of us contribute 1000 rupees or 500 rupees every month, and there is one mutual fund company which takes that money and invest in stock market for you. This is how mutual fund companies function. For individuals who do not directly want to invest in stock market, for individuals who do not have specialization expertise to invest in stock market, but they know that stock market may be giving good returns, they will go through mutual fund company mechanism. In the same way, for people who are interested in investing in infrastructure but they do not have specialization or enough fund कि बहुत अब जाके वो रोड तो खरीद नहीं सकते. none of us have ऐसा पैसा कि हम जाके एक रोड खरीद रहे हैं और रेलवेज में इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं आपको छोड़ के, है ना. इसके पास नहीं है, ऐसा मजाक उड़ाता रहता हूँ उसका. ये बैंड्रा बोलता है ना, इसलिए साहिल बोल रहा है सर है, ऐसे इशारे में बोल रहा है सर है. तो generally we do not have that kind of money, but still we want to invest. So what would happen? These investment trust, those investment would be. तो आप देखोगे National Highway Authority of India has created this kind of investment trust where money could be contributed by different players and that money can be invested in national highways. तो जो प्रॉफिट आएगा वो इनको जाएगा. वैसे डायरेक्टली यू कुड हैव नॉट इन्वेस्टेड इन नेशनल हाईवेज. एनआईआईएफ और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट में डिफरेंस समझ में आया? नाउ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रस्ट में देयर कैन बी डिफरेंट कंपनीज. नेशनल हाईवे अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया ने एक अपना अलग से ट्रस्ट क्रिएट कर दिया, ऐसे ही डिफरेंट ट्रस्ट कुड बी क्रिएटेड एंड दिस they are designed to attract low cost long term capital in infrastructure sector and reduce pressure on banking system. Why investment would happen from other direction? InvITs are set up under trust and registered with SEBI. InvITs are regulated in India by SEBI. SEBI notified SEBI Infrastructure Investment Trust Regulation 2014 providing for regulation and registration of InvITs. InvIT can invest in infrastructure projects either directly or through a special purpose vehicles. As per the present regulation, InvIT units minimum size is rupees 10 lakh and thus is suitable only for high net worth individuals. यहाँ पे जो मिनिमम इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा, अब 100 रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं कर सकते जो आप एसआईपी में कर सकते हो. दीज आर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट, मिनिमम इन्वेस्टमेंट बी ऑफ 10 लाख. इनविट्स आर लिस्टेड ऑन एक्सचेंजेस जस्ट लाइक स्टॉक्स थ्रू आईपीओ. यहाँ पे भी आपको कैपिटल गेन टैक्स लगेगा. सपोज यू इन्वेस्ट 20 लाख रुपीज एंड 5 साल बाद आपको 40 लाख रुपीज मिलता है, तो 20 लाख रुपीज का आपका कैपिटल गेन हुआ. उसे इंडेक्स करने के बाद, इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स करने के बाद, वट एवर गेन दैट यू हैव, you maybe have to pay taxes on them. India's first InvIT issue was done by road developer IRB Infrastructure in May 2017, which garnered 5,000 crore rupees. उसके बाद भी बहुत सारे InvITs, बहुत सारे अलग अलग बॉडीज ने किए हैं. बट आई ब्रीफली वांटेड टू कवर दिस क्योंकि वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. तो एनआईआईएफ एंड InvIT का आइडिया देना चाहता था आप लोगों को बिफोर वी मूव अहेड. Okay, how funds are being mobilized? Do we have clarity? Okay. Logistics sector. देखो, logistics sector deals with movement of goods, so it will include transportation sector, storage, shipping sector. All these things would be included in logistics. गुड्स को मूवमेंट करने के लिए जो भी अच्छी चीजें चाहिए, चाहे वो पोर्ट पे अप्रूवल वाला मैकेनिज्म हो, उसे ज्यादा इफेक्टिव करना, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक्स सेक्टर एंड दैट विल इंप्रूव द सिचुएशन ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक्स. तो इन इंडिया लॉजिस्टिक्स सेक्टर इज वर्स देन ग्लोबल एवरेज. ग्लोबली अगर आप डेवलप कंट्रीज में जाओ, ये ऑफ द टोटल जीडीपी 8% एक्सपेंडिचर हैपेंस ऑन लॉजिस्टिक्स. but in India, this expenditure is 13 to 14%. So, a product on an average, if this pen has reached here, इसके ट्रांसपोर्टेशन स्टोरेज इन सब में अप्रूव इन सब में 13 to 14% उसका कॉस्ट लगाओ ऑन एन एवरेज. दिस मे नॉट बी केस विद दिस पेन, but in general 13 to 14% cost goes in there, whereas in developed countries it is 8%. So our businesses already face problems because their products become 5% more expensive because of the higher logistics. So if we improve our logistics sector, will it promote ease of doing business in India? Yes. Will it increase competitiveness of our product? Will it increase profitability of our business? Will it promote more investment? All these things would happen. It will also reduce the food wastage. Thus will contribute to environment. Right? अगर गाड़ी ट्रैफिक सिग्नल पे बहुत देर तक खड़े होके बस इंजन चल रहा है, वो वेस्ट ना करे तो वैसे भी फ्यूल सेविंग होती है. तो इफ आवर लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर इंप्रूव, if trucks are able to move easily, quickly, will it also contribute to environmental benefits? Yes. So इसके बहुत सारे advantages, and thus logistics sector is also an important sector where government has been focusing on. And whatever we have been speaking about, national infrastructure pipeline की बात कर रहे थे, सबसे ज्यादा पैसा कहाँ स्पेंड होता है? ट्रांसपोर्टेशन पे ही होगा ना. रोडवेज, रेलवेज, वाटरवेज, everything that we'll talk about is contributing to improving the situation of logistic sector. Do we understand what logistic sector is? Do we understand why do we need to improve that? है ना, हमारा कॉस्ट ज्यादा है 13 to 14%. We have to reduce it. 5% कम से कम reduce करना है in order to do as good as the developed country. Okay, who's monetize? देखो, जब एसेट मोनेटाइज हो रहा है, अगर रेलवेज का एसेट मोनेटाइज हो रहा है, पैसा किसको जाएगा? रेलवेज को जाएगा. Right? Now, logistic performance of India. So I have generally talked about that, but officially if you go to World Bank's logistic performance index, which was last released in 2018, इस पे India was ranked 44th in the world in logistic performance. Logistic cost in India remained 13 to 14%, whereas while this is 8 to 10% of the GDP in advanced economies like Japan and Germany, thus logistic पे focus जरूरी. ओके, तो एक और चीज हमने जो नोटिस करी, वैसे विल कवर इट इन इंटरनेशनल बॉडीज आल्सो. लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस इंडेक्स कौन पब्लिश कर रहा है? तो वो हु इज पब्लिशिंग इट? वर्ल्ड बैंक. ओके, नाउ टू इंप्रूव इंडियाज लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर इन 2022, इंडिया हैज अनवील्ड. व्हाट इज इंडिया अनवील्ड? लॉजिस्टिक नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक पॉलिसी, एनएल, नेशनल लॉजिस्टिक. समझ में आ रही है बात? We have unveiled national logistic policy. What is there in national logistic policy? देखो, क्या करना चाह रहे होंगे through this policy? Our logistic cost reduces. That's what the core idea is. Not only cost reduces, ऐसा टाइम भी ज्यादा नहीं लगना चाहिए, पर अगर टाइम ज्यादा लगता है तो कॉस्ट अपने आप बढ़ जाएगी. You'll keep the trucks engaged, you'll keep the ships engaged, है ना. तो logistic cost reduces. This is something that we would be targeting. If you come here, the vision of NLP is to develop technologically enabled, integrated, cost-efficient, resilient, sustainable, and trusted logistic ecosystem in the country for accelerated and inclusive growth. The policy endeavors to improve the competitiveness of Indian goods, enhance economic growth, and increase employment opportunities. It is aimed at bringing global standards to warehousing, multimodal digital integration, ease of logistic services, human resource, skill enhancement, all these things. टारगेट्स देख लो. टारगेट्स आर समथिंग व्हिच कैन डायरेक्टली बी. ऊपर वाली चीजें यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स के एग्जाम में किसी स्टेटमेंट में रहेगी, आप देख के बोलोगे हाँ होना चाहिए, ऑब्वियस है. राइट? दीज आर 3 टारगेट्स दैट इट हैज. रिड्यूस द कॉस्ट ऑफ लॉजिस्टिक्स इन इंडिया टू बी कंपेरेबल टू ग्लोबल बेंचमार्क बाय 2030. अराउंड 5% तक हमें रिड्यूस करना पड़ेगा कॉस्ट ऑफ. दैट इज वन ऑफ द टारगेट्स. बाय 2030 आवर लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट शुड बी कंपेरेबल टू द डेवलप्ड. सेकंड, improve the logistic performance index ranking, bring India to in top 25 countries by 2030. Then create a data-driven decision support mechanism. Online system create हो जिससे हमारे पास database बने where we are able to understand where is the delay taking. If we have proper database, if we have proper understanding of where things are getting delayed, ये ट्रक यहाँ से निकला, इसे दूसरी कंट्री में भी जाना था, which was the place where it was blocked, what can be done to improve there. So if we'll have proper data for that, the decision would be better. Okay, so it will contribute to reducing wastage of agro products. It will also lead to quick last mile connectivity, because sometimes what happens, our highways and our train connectivity are all good, but last mile connectivity is poor, because of which cost goes up. If you travel by, let's say, second class train, sleeper से travel कर रहे हो, और आपको, आप notice करोगे, for you to come from, let's say, Lucknow to Delhi, it will cost around sleeper से 300-400 rupees. आप लोगों में से कोई स्लीपर में ट्रैवल नहीं करता, रिच पीपल. लखनऊ से दिल्ली का सेकंड क्लास का क्या कॉस्ट होता है? 3 करोड़ होगा भाई. तो चार्टर्ड फ्लाइट में भी क्या बोल रहे? हाँ, 300-400 रुपए होगा, राइट, 300-400 होगा, बट वो आपको निजामुद्दीन पे ड्रॉप कर दे, उसके बाद टू रीच योर होम you will pay something similar by auto or by cab or by anything. Last mile connectivity becomes a burden even for us, है ना? Unless we are like, चलो पास में कोई मेट्रो देखते हैं, वहां से जाएंगे, so it can be better. But in a city like Delhi, there are metros available. It's not there throughout the country. Public transport, हमें तो ऐसा लगेगा, अगर हम रात में 12 बजे किसी छोटे शहर में स्टेशन पे जा रहे हैं, वी वुड प्रे कि भाई जल्दी से कुछ मिल जाए या घर से कोई आ जाए लेने, राइट. समथिंग सिमिलर, ये अब ये वाला चीज नहीं, बट समथिंग सिमिलर हैपेंस इन लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर आल्सो, वेयर लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी में आल्सो लीड टू अ लॉट ऑफ इंक्रीज इन प्राइस, ह्यूज इंक्रीज इन प्राइस. Okay, so even last mile connectivity is something that we need to focus upon. The policy that seeks to pave the way for India to become a logistic hub. There are 4 key features या 4 key pillars of our policy. Targets क्या हैं? 3 याद रख पाएंगे हम. The 4 key pillars. What are those pillars? Integration of digital system. Database decisions लेने हैं. So under integration of digital system, 30 different systems of 7 departments are integrated, including data from road transport, railways, custom, aviation, commerce departments, etc. They are integrated under this IDS, then unified logistic integration platform. It would bring all digital services related to transportation sector under a single platform. नाम में ही देखो, unified logistic interface platform. Ease of logistic, e-logs. It's a new digital platform which has been created for industry association to resolve issues by reaching out to the government. Transport industry may through this platform directly reach out to government and say कि we are facing these problems, these of issues there are creating concerns, यहाँ पे bottleneck है, यहाँ पे road structure नहीं है. Systematic improvement group has been created along with network planning group to improve coordination across government ministries and between states and central government. So these 4 things: systematic improvement group, government ministries and state government, central government के बीच में better coordination के लिए, ease of logistics through which private players would be able to reach government, the stakeholders would be able to reach government for getting the issues resolved, unified logistic interface platform, online platform, और ये दोनों integration of digital system and unified logistic interface platforms are online platforms that have been created to improve the logistics sector. These are the 4 pillars or 4 key features of our national logistic policy. So my question is not that, my question is who is responsible authority to monetize the asset? Who is, अच्छा यहाँ पे finance minister, who will be monetizing it, who will be taking steps towards it, so it will be fine. Okay, now will we be able to, if in options we have these 4 pillars, Will we be able to understand that this is associated with national logistic policy? Now, the policy will also be implemented through comprehensive logistic action plan or CLAP. एग्जाम में इस तरह का क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. CLAP was in news recently. This initiative is associated with logistics sector, education sector, health sector. तो पहले आपको समझ में आना चाहिए, this CLAP comprehensive logistic action plan is associated with logistics sector. L is logistics under the CLAP initiative. So it proposes following intervention: integrating digital logistics system to develop a system of unified logistic interface. Unified logistic ULIP was what? Unified logistic interface platform. So CLAP, under CLAP, one thing that would be done would be this: sectoral plan for efficient logistics, road sector, railway sector, सब में facilitating development of logistic parks. Logistic parks are basically places. We are developing multimodal logistic parks where what would happen? Roadways से railways या waterways में seamless movement हो पाए. Otherwise, what happens? आप रेलवे स्टेशन पे चीजों को लेके आते हो and then to move it to waterways वाला, the cost is very high. The transportation gets delayed. In this multimodal logistic parks, there would be easy connectivity to all these transportation mechanisms, facilitating the development of logistic park, EXIM logistics, export import logistics, logistic manpower skill development and capacity building, service improvement programs, standardization of physical assets and benchmarking service quality standards. Now, this is what? Standardization of physical assets or benchmarking service quality standards. इसमें basically when let's say transportation is happening, by transportation by trucks is happening, so we can rate the quality. This is A quality, this is B quality. How would that be possible? It is only possible when we standardize the service. If this much time is taken, then the quality is this. If this less wastage is happening, then quality is this. If this standardization is there, only then we'll be able to make cross-sectoral comparisons and those advantages could be there. Engagement with different Indian states. Through this CLAP, they will also be engaging with state government. Did we understand? Now, government has also launched ULIP, Unified Logistic Interface Platform. ULIP platform will enable various stakeholders like industry players to get secure access to. तो ULIP platform पे ना basically logistics sector से related सारी information होंगी. If you want to move something from Chandigarh to Delhi, what is the train mechanism? What is the rail truck wala mechanism? Those kind of things would be here. So private players can secure access to information related to logistics and resources available with various ministries through the ULIP. But आप ULIP platform को जब access करते हो तो you'll have to sign the non-disclosure affidavit and all so that उसे और बाहर public नहीं किया जाए. It will also democratize information. It will contribute to abolition of monopoly and unleveled advantage. It integrates 7 ministries on one platform. It will also integrate 17 digital platforms of these ministries under the unified logistic interface platform. So I hope you got the idea. देखो, this is national logistic policy के various components. In mains examination, we do not have to study all. In mains examination, we will study 4-5 features of NLP, National Logistic Platform, and then we'll talk about what are the key challenges, how this policy can be effectively implemented, what improvements can be done कि India में logistics sector actually starts doing well. In mains examination, we have to focus on those dimensions. In preliminary examination, हमें एक-एक चीज, एक-एक term देखना पड़ता है, important term देखना पड़ता है, because they may ask anything in preliminary examination. Are you getting my point? National logistic policy, सबको समझ में आया? पक्का? Now, multimodal logistics. Let's come to this. Multimodal logistics. Sir, is NMP complementary to NIP? देखो, NIP, National Infrastructure Pipeline, is focused on development of infrastructure. Now, अगर NMP was developing some other infrastructure in rural India, let's say, तब हम बोलते हैं कि it's complementing. NMP is mobilizing resources. Is one of the ways, one of the methods by which we are mobilizing resources for national infrastructure pipeline. Right? तो उसे complementary बोलने की वजह बोलेंगे it is a sub part of it. There are lots of things which we are doing under national infrastructure pipeline. There are lots of ways by which we are mobilizing resources. There is government resource, there is state government resource, there is private sector resource. तो जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का रिसोर्स मोबिलाइजेशन है उसमें वन ऑफ द वेज इज बाय नेशनल मोनेटाइजेशन, ओ सॉरी मोनेटाइजेशन वाला मैकेनिज्म, एसेट मोनेटाइजेशन वाला मैकेनिज्म. Okay, Piyush, I hope you have understood this. Now let's go to multimodal logistics. Abhi recently Reliance was awarded a project to make India's first multimodal logistic park in Chennai. So we'll come to this park ka idea, but what is multimodal logistic park? So multimodal, multiple modes. Logistic का तो idea हमें लग गया. It deals with movements and storage of goods, right? Multimodal logistic parks are parks which are being created, like the government plans to create 35 such places in the country where through which seamless movement from one mode to another mode could be done. For example, उस multimodal logistic park में there may be a railway station, पास में there may be a shipping, coastal area में भी there, और वहां से ships में भी चीजें move कर पाएंगी. Now in this park they will also develop mechanism for fast track movement of goods from railways to ship for export. जैसे चंडीगढ़ से कोई चीज हमें चेन्नई ट्रांसफर करनी है so that it can be exported to Japan, right? So from moving from one mode to another used to take a lot of money, used to be very expensive. Idea is that through many of these multimodal logistic parks we will improve that. We will reduce cost, we will reduce time, and thus improve the situation of logistics sector in the country. Okay, so NML, multimodal logistic parks have been conceptualized to enable seamless intermodal freight movement and offer multiple functionalities such as freight aggregation and distribution, storage, warehousing solutions, value-added services like custom clearance and IT services will also be provided here. The parks will enable the switch from point to hub and spoke model. Point to point पहले क्या था? Railways was one point where we were bringing things, then you were taking it to ship. Now multimodal logistic park would act as hub where all the multimodal all the modes would be coming. Jैसे we plan to develop a multimodal logistic park in Assam where on Brahmaputra river there would be waterway, that place जहाँ पे आसाम में हम बनाना चाहते हैं एक मल्टी मॉडल लॉजिस्टिक पार्क इज ऑल्सो वेरी क्लोज टू भूटान एंड बांग्लादेश. तो इंटरनेशनल ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कस्टम्स वगैरह की भी फैसिलिटीज होंगी. रेलवेज इज देयर, रोड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का पार्ट वहां पे होगा, सो दैट seamless movement of goods could happen from one mode to another and our logistic cost reduces. In Chennai, we plan to create one of the multimodal logistic parks. So the government plans to build 35 MMLPs under PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan for multimodal connectivity and Bharatmala Pariyojana project to expand India's infrastructure by creating more logistic and transportation hubs, connecting them seamlessly. Advantage: logistic efficiency, seamless intermodal transport, improved warehousing. These multimodal parks will also have much better storage facilities than the point-to-point system. Improved employment opportunities, help in growth of MSME sectors. Big businesses are able to have their own trucks or own system to move goods, but it is better logistic facilities is needed by MSME sector who do not have their own infrastructure, who do not have a lot of storage facilities of their own. Helps in growth of MSME sector. And then environmental benefit, we have already talked about that. ये चेन्नई के MMLP के बारे में, इसका कितना साइज है, कहाँ पे लोकेटेड है, इसमें कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट लगेगा, what mode it is being created, because it has happened very recently. I've listed these things here. एक बार read करना, all factual, nothing special to explain, but do read it. Okay, Ritu is asking, sir, what, sir, voice में क्या दिक्कत हो गई भाई? अभी बताइए guys, am I audible? Voice is fine. Okay, great. हाँ, हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल क्या होता है? देखो, हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल में ऐसे समझो, हब एंड स्पोक मॉडल इज समथिंग लाइक, think of your bicycle tire. There's a center and then a lot of spokes are connected to rest of the tire. In this place, in multimodal logistic park, it would act as hub. This hub will be connected by various modes. रोड से बहुत सारे सेंटर से कनेक्टेड होगा, रेलवे से बहुत सारे सेंटर से कनेक्टेड होगा. A few of its spokes may also be going to ships. Inland waterways may be making some of these spokes or some of these connections. तो इसे इसलिए बोल रहे हैं hub and spoke model. It will act as hub. From there, seamless movement in different modal transportation mechanism could happen. Okay. Earlier too the voice was okay. तो पहले भी सही था. तो किसने बोला? हेमंत, कान मत लगाओ, दिल भी लगाओ, नहीं देगा. नहीं, अच्छा, ऑनलाइन वीडियो देखने में कोई प्रॉब्लम हो रही है क्या पोर्टल पे? मुझे आज किसी बच्चे ने मैसेज किया कि वो ऑन ही नहीं कर पा रहा है. ऐसा कुछ नहीं हो रहा? तो मत करो. अच्छा, वो शायद रिकॉर्डिंग रिकॉर्डिंग करने के. हाँ भाई, when you start the video, don't touch anything in the beginning. वो रिकॉर्डिंग रिकॉर्डिंग करने की कोशिश करते हो तो थोड़ा थोड़ा कुछ हो जाता है. कुछ बोल रहे हो लवली? तो भी ऑफ हो जाता है. अच्छा है ना, मेरी क्लास में बस मुझ पे ध्यान दो, इधर उधर कुछ नहीं. ठीक है. अच्छा, नहीं, विल यू स्टडी इट एट योर ओन, स्टडी दिस एट योर ओन. एक बार रीड कर लीजिएगा फैक्चुअल चीजें, कितना साइज है, क्या है वो सब. लॉजिस्टिक इज अक्रॉस डिफरेंट स्टेट. लीड. लॉजिस्टिक इज अक्रॉस डिफरेंट स्टेट इंडेक्स. क्या है? देखो, लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस इंडेक्स देखा था हमने अभी वर्ल्ड बैंक का, which said that India's rank was 44. ना, though India's rank was improving, but still 44 is not a good. ये क्या हो गया? ये कब हुआ? लास्ट टेस्ट वाले दिन. ओह, बट आई डिडंट वांट देम टू कवर दिस एंटायर थिंग. सिर्फ बीच वाला कवर करने को बोला. ब्रेक निकाल दोगे? मुंबई मेट्रो में जितनी तोड़फोड़ हो रही है, यही यही लड़का कर रहा है. अभी वो क्या कहते हैं, पर तुम्हारे इंटेंशंस वैसे है ना. वो मुकेश अंबानी घर के बाहर बम बम मिला था, तुम तो इन्वॉल्व नहीं थे कहीं? पक्का नाम बताओ तुम. बैंड्रा ही ठीक है. नाम तुमने रखे भगवान बुद्ध वाले और काम तुम कर रहे हो लादेन वाले. नाम सिद्धार्थ रखा है. अच्छा, हाँ, पेरेंट्स ने रख दिया और हरकतें इसकी लादेन वाली हो गई है. हाँ, लेट्स लीड. तो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस इंडेक्स. लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस इंडेक्स में कंट्रीज वर रैंक बेस्ड ऑन देयर लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस. इसमें ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में कितना अच्छा कर रहे हो आप, कस्टम्स में कितना टाइम लगता है, हाउ गवर्नमेंट परमिशंस वगैरह में कितना टाइम, ऑल दोस थिंग्स आर टेकन इनटू कंसिडरेशन. आपका आईटी ऑनलाइन सिस्टम कैसा है, ऑल दोस थिंग्स वर टेकन इनटू कंसिडरेशन in logistic performance index of ease of of World Bank. Now, when India wanted to improve its rank further, what we did was, let us rank states, let us make them compete with each other. Let us rank states, make them compete with let us make them compete with each other. When they will compete with each other, states अपने अपने लेवल पे लॉजिस्टिक परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव करेंगे, ओवरऑल कंट्री का परफॉर्मेंस इंप्रूव हो जाएगा. So for that competition, we have brought leads. It's a composite indicator to assess international trade logistics across states and union territories and is based on stakeholder survey. Now, note two things. Pehla, it is assessing international trade logistics. अगर बिहार से कोई सामान इंटरनेशनली ट्रेड हो रहा है, हाउ इफेक्टिवली इट कुड बी ट्रेडेड और हाउ मच बैरियर्स आर. अगर गुजरात से कुछ हो रहा है, कितनी इजीली ट्रेड हो सकता है इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड, और इफ देयर आर मेनी बैरियर्स. And is based on stakeholder survey and uses the World Bank's LPI methodology. So यहाँ पे भी this is based on survey. This is not based on some data. Their stakeholders are surveyed. They are asked certain questions, and based on that, performance is measured. It is based on the analysis of perception with regard to 9 parameters. Infrastructure कैसा है, timeline, track and trace, facilities, competitiveness of pricing, safety of cargo, operating environment, regulatory process. These are taken into consideration. मान लो कोई ट्रक आ रहा है, यमुना एक्सप्रेसवे पे लूट लिया जा रहा है, तो यूपी विल नॉट बी गिवन गुड ट्रैक. सेफ्टी ऑफ कार्गो इज नॉट देयर, राइट? बट इफ द लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन इज गुड, इफ कार्गो इज सेफ, देन देयर वोंट बी एनी प्रॉब्लम, राइट? 2022 का रैंकिंग वाज रिलीज्ड इन अक्टूबर. एवरी ईयर अराउंड अक्टूबर नवंबर rankings are released. Now some changes have taken place in this ranking methodology when compared to the previous method. What are the key changes that have taken place? Let us look at that. For the first time, Leeds has adopted a classification based grading, and states have first been classified into coastal states, hinterland and landlocked states, northeastern states and UT. ऐसे चार अलग अलग स्टेट्स को पहले इन चार अलग अलग पार्ट्स में क्लासिफाई किया गया. Why? Understand the reason. Coastal states would be in a different situation. From there, reaching ships would be much easier than from hinterland, right? UTs have a lot of say by government, so central government, a lot of influence of central government. So वहाँ पे government, state government का role may be much lesser. So first thing that has been done is the states have been classified into these 4 categories. Second, states haven't been ranked this time. This time they have been allotted 3 performance categories. They are either achievers, fast movers or aspirers. Till last year, they were not categorized like this and they were ranked. But without categorization, ranking was not serving a purpose, and ranks maybe this time ranking has not been done. They have been said that you are achiever, you are fast mover, you are aspirer. So achievers are Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, Telangana, Punjab, Odisha, Karnataka, Himachal, Assam, Delhi, Chandigarh and Haryana. Fast movers Kerala, Sikkim, Madhya Pradesh, Tripura, Puducherry and Rajasthan. सबसे worst performers are aspirers. अब aspirers को बोले तो फिर अभी achieve करना है. You are aspiring to improve. Fast movers, you are moving in the right direction. Achievers जिनकी rank आ गई है, they have done classification like this. So Goa, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Andaman, Nicobar, Mizoram, J&K, Arunachal, Ladakh, Lakshadweep, Nagaland. These are aspirers. Okay, तो ये टेबल याद नहीं रखना, ये तो because it was there in Economic Survey of India and because I wanted you to understand rather than ranking. What have they done? They have put them in 3 categories. सारे स्टेट्स नहीं होंगे, नहीं है क्या सारे? हाँ, अच्छा सब अपना अपना स्टेट देख रहे हो. मैंने तो पढ़ने के हिसाब से इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया का इमेज ले लिया. अब तुम लोग अपना स्टेट देख रहे हो कहाँ है ना, और तुम ढूंढ रहे हो भाई. ओके, लेट्स गो टू रोडवेज. ओके, रोड्स. देखो, when we look at the transportation sector in India, railways, waterways, roadways and airways, ये ब्लू वाला कौन सा है? रोडवेज सेक्टर. Look at it. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सेक्टर में कंट्रीब्यूशन रोडवेज का कितना है? 65%. So road transport is the dominant mode of transport in India, both in terms of traffic share and in terms of contribution to national economy. It contributes to 3.08% of the GVA. Out of total 4.6% of the transport sector, 3.6% in India's GVA is contributed by road sector only. So goods, human beings, सबका transportation, a lot of it happens through roads, so road transportation. It also contributes to inclusive growth. अब देखो road transportation में there is also which road? Rural roads. रूरल एरियाज में छोटे छोटे गांवों में ट्रेन नहीं हो सकते, वाटरवेज नहीं हो सकते. रोड्स दस कैन बी, रोड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कैन दस बी वेरी इंक्लूसिव. अकॉर्डिंग टू द नेशनल ट्रांसपोर्ट डेवलपमेंट पॉलिसी कमिटी रिपोर्ट ऑफ 2011-12, road transport is estimated to handle 70% of countrywide freight and 90% of the passenger traffic respectively. And if Nitin Gadkari remains on helm for some more time, this percentage is going to keep improving. Like one minister जो politicize नहीं करते हैं, चीजों को अच्छे से काम करते हैं, is Nitin Gadkari, and that's why in recent years road sector has been doing very well. अभी recently I was listening to one of his talks, और वहाँ पे वो जो बात कर रहे थे, whatever we may call it, conferences, talks, etc. He said कि till a few years back, a lot of flights from Mumbai to Pune were there, because Mumbai to Pune travel used to take a lot of time. But since जब से उनके पास रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आई, he ensured कि रोड transportation is so fast between Mumbai to Pune. Now there are no flights between Mumbai and Pune, because फ्लाइट से आपको थोड़ा पहले पहुंचना पड़ेगा, फिर उतरने के बाद भी थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा. उतने टाइम में बाय रोड यू विल बी एबल टू रीच. So people are not moving, not going using flights, and thus flight का डिमांड मुंबई पुणे के बीच में खत्म हो. राइट? आप कभी गए हो रोड से, जाते हो रोड से ट्रैवल करते हो? He said, I'll do the same for Delhi and Jaipur. Delhi to Jaipur right now it takes around 5 hours, है ना? 5 hours लेता है, तो अभी भी ट्रेन वो फ्लाइट से जाने का ज्यादा मतलब नहीं है. 2 घंटे पहले निकलना घर से, एयरपोर्ट पहुंचना एंड ऑल. बट ही सेइंग कि ही विल फर्दर रिड्यूस. अभी भी ट्रैफिक वाली प्रॉब्लम. 5 hours if you start early in the morning, आप सुबह 4 बजे शुरू करोगे ना, तो आप 8-9 बजे भी पहुंच जाओगे जयपुर. बट ड्यूरिंग ट्रैफिक आवर्स समटाइम्स टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम, है ना? जयपुर से है कोई जयपुर से है? आप जयपुर से हो तो आप बस से जाते हो, कभी बस से गए हो? कितना टाइम लगता है? 6 hours, है ना? बट बाय फ्लाइट यू मे रीच देयर बाय इन हाफ एन आवर, एंड हाफ एन आवर 45 मिनट्स, और थोड़ा 1-2 घंटा, 1 घंटा इधर उधर का. तो अगर by bus only you are able to, by road transportation only you are able to reach there in 3-4 hours, why would you take flights? Right? There would be no reason of taking flights. So good people at the helm can actually improve ease of life for people. Ease of life for. अगर यहाँ पे भी कोई ऐसा मिनिस्टर होता जो बस बैठ के बड़ी बड़ी बातें कर रहा होता और अपने रिश्तेदारों को प्रमोट कर रहा होता और उनको, I do not know the corruption background and everything, but road transportation would not have improved a lot. जयेश क्यों हंस रहे हो? हंस तो रहे हो. तुम्हें गडकरी जी पसंद नहीं है? क्या है? इसके गांव का है? अरे ऐसे तुम्हारी शादी में भी आया था? ओके. पर तुम्हारी तो हुई नहीं ना अभी, फिर कैसे आया? अच्छा, बात कर रहे हो. Anyways, so road transportation is very significant for us, and a good person at the helm can improve the situation further. Now, National Highway Authority of India has also launched its InvIT in FY22. We understand what InvIT is. So National Highway Authority of India has brought this kind of mutual fund kind of initiative where you can go and invest. Only high net worth individuals would be able to do that, and get this done. So far, NHI InvIT has raised more than 10,200 crore rupees for high quality foreign Indian institutional investor by December 2022. तो अगर आप रोड सेक्टर में जाएंगे, इफ यू लुक एट द इंस्टीट्यूशंस, तो एक तो मिनिस्ट्री है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड हाईवे, देन वी हैव नेशनल हाईवे अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया. नेशनल हाईवे अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया इज आल्सो अ स्टैट्यूटरी बॉडी एंड इट इज, नाम में ही है इसका नेशनल हाईवेज, so it is responsible for over 50,000 kilometers of national highways out of 1.32 lakh kilometer of roads in India. This number has gone up now. Both national highway ka length as well as the total road ka length has gone up now. But फिर भी rough idea you can understand कि National Highway Authority of India is a statutory body and is very significant. Though national highways constitute a small percentage of road in India, when it comes to the traffic burden they bear, it's huge. जब हम रोड्स को ऐसे डिवाइड करें ना, अगर रोड्स को अगर हम रूरल रोड्स और इन सब में डिवाइड करें, तो रूरल रोड्स डेफिनेटली वुड बी मच लार्जर इन लेंथ, है ना. फॉर एवरी 10 किलोमीटर ऑफ नेशनल हाईवे बहुत सारे गांव हो सकते हैं आसपास जहां बहुत सारे रोड्स होंगे, राइट. तो रूरल रोड्स वुड एनीवेज बी मच लार्जर, मच लॉन्गर. Can we understand this logically? But the burden of traffic which national highway takes is much higher than the length that they have, and therefore national highways are highly significant. So उसके लिए we have National Highway Authority of India, which is a statutory body. Important road projects. So before Bharatmala came into play, Bharatmala अभी लॉन्च किया है गवर्नमेंट ने a few years back. National Highway Development Project was the largest. अभी कौन सा है largest? Bharatmala. National Highway Development Project was the largest highway project ever undertaken in India. The NSDP was being implemented by NHAI and NHIDCL. इसके अंदर there were two major projects. Golden Quadrilateral were connecting these four mega cities of India: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. It was forming this quadrilateral. This was initiated during Vajpayee era and was completed. This project was completed in 2012. Then there was north-south, east-west corridor under National Highway Development Project. Only north-south, east-west corridor जो श्रीनगर टू कन्याकुमारी एंड इधर गुजरात से अरुणाचल प्रदेश तक, सिलचर टू पोरबंदर कनेक्ट करता है, राइट. असम, यस. But now the biggest project that we have is Bharatmala Pariyojana, because it is bigger than even National Highway Development. तो ये किसके इनिशिएटिव है तो हमें पता ही है ना, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, right? These are initiatives. That's why I'm not giving you ministry, but I hope you are understanding this. Recorded videos are not playing. बहुत सारे बच्चों, अच्छा कोई इशू हो रहा है क्या रिकॉर्डेड वीडियोस में? कौन, आप लोग तो ऑफलाइन आ रहे हो तो रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो देख नहीं रहे होगे, है ना. ये ऑनलाइन वाले बच्चों को ही हो रहा होगा. लेट मी आज ना डू दिस आफ्टर क्लास, हाफ एन आवर आफ्टर क्लास, सेंड मी मैसेजेस, डीएम करो, मैं आईटी टीम को भेजता हूँ कि कंप्लेंट्स क्यों आ रही हैं, है ना. या तो दे विल कंप्लेन अबाउट यू और दे विल गिव अ सॉल्यूशन. इवन पीएमपी 2.0 ना, आदित्य फोगाट, आपका इंटरनेट खराब होगा. देयर द पोर्टल इज वेरी डिफरेंट, उस पर इजीली वीडियो लीक हो रहे हैं. हाँ, पीएमपी 2.0 का जो पोर्टल है दैट्स वेरी, मतलब इजी टू वर्क विथ, है ना. ऐसा हो रहा है ना. नहीं, वो डाउनलोड का ऑप्शन का पर्पस इज समथिंग एल्स, दैट इज फॉर योर ऐप. यू कैन डाउनलोड इट इन योर ऐप एंड ऑफलाइन देख सकते हो फॉर पीएमपी 2.0. ओह, कोई नहीं, जाने दो ना. पीएमपी से ना एवरीवन वुड गेट टू नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ टीचर्स वी हैव. दैट्स अ मार्केटिंग मैकेनिज्म. अब देखो, निखिल सर इज सच अ ब्रिलियंट टीचर, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल डोंट नो अबाउट. दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम, है ना. अगर लोग निखिल सर से पढ़े हुए हैं, निखिल सर का एक आधा वीडियो भी देखा हो, चाहे वो लीक्ड वाला देखा होगा, दे वुड अंडरस्टैंड कि लेवल अप आईएएस पे जैसे हिस्ट्री पढ़ाया जाएगा वैसे कहीं और नहीं पढ़ाया जा सकता आंख बंद, तो इसलिए हम जाने दें। ओके, लेट्स कम बैक टू दिस भारतमाला परियोजना, द बिगेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट। देखो, नाउ व्हाट इज द idea of Bharatmala? If you look at map of India under Bharatmala Pariyojana, what they are trying to do is first border roads create कर रहे हैं, and then they are connecting it to the coastal road. So in a way, this Pariyojana looks like a mala, garland, and that's why Bharatmala Pariyojana. Border roads connecting to the coastal one. क्या बोले बलवीर, मुझे भी हंसाओ, तुम बोल तो रहे हो कुछ। मेरे ड्राइंग का मजाक उड़ा रहे हैं ना, कोई बात नहीं, सबका बदला लेगा तेरा फैजल। आ जाइए। तो did you understand why Bharatmala Pariyojana? The core idea of a core idea is of a road built along India's vast west to east land border from Gujarat to Mizoram. This is the core idea, and linking that to a road network in coastal states from Maharashtra to West Bengal. Thus the Bharatmala Pariyojana. But this is not the only thing. The name has been given because of the term Bharatmala Pariyojana, but there are a number of other aspects. Under this project, highways of approximately 25,000 kilometers are planned to be constructed at an estimated cost of 3.85 lakh crores between 2017 to 2021-22. In addition, phase 1 NSDP का प्रोजेक्ट था ना, उसका कुछ पार्ट रह गया था, नेशनल हाईवे डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट का, that 10,000 kilometers would also be brought here. Total estimated outlay of the phase is 5,35,000 crore rupees. The phase 1 was this phase was supposed to be completed by, the project was supposed to be completed by 2022. Some small developments still continue, and that is why it is still important. Funding to complete all the ongoing projects of the ministry, the total expenditure was supposed to be 6.92 lakh crore rupees. 3.85 was for core Bharatmala, 3.85 lakh crore was for Bharatmala, and remaining money was for other idhar udhar ke projects which were all brought under it. Bharatmala is an umbrella scheme. So इसमें देखो, development of border and international connectivity roads is there, coastal and port connectivity roads are there, improvement in efficiency of national corridors, the important roadways which are there, unka improvement, development of economic corridors. Now, what are economic corridors? These are the corridors which have been identified where a lot of businesses would be there. Now, a lot of businesses, a lot of industries would be there. So this would act as important economic centers for India. And यहाँ पे logistic facilities अच्छा होने के बहुत सारी needs हैं. And therefore, development of economic corridor is also a component of Bharatmala. And finally, we have inter-corridor and feeder routes and development of greenfield expressways. Inter-corridor and feeder routes, but between two economic corridors, inter-corridors. और main roads को, main important roads को feed करने वाले feeder routes. So under Bharatmala Pariyojana, we are also doing that. And most importantly, development of greenfield expressways. Do you understand what expressways are? यहाँ पे traffic signals वगैरह नहीं होंगे, fast track movement होगा, है ना? Greenfield expressways, like new expressways would be created to reduce the burden on existing roads and to fast track the logistics sector. So because it was not in news a lot, but still it is the biggest road project India has implemented. So we should be aware of this. I'm not gone into the details of this, but ब्रॉड आइडिया भारतमाला परियोजना का हमारे पास रहना चाहिए. ओके, चार धाम हाईवे प्रोजेक्ट, द 4 धाम यमुनोत्री, गंगोत्री, केदारनाथ एंड बद्रीनाथ बीइंग कनेक्टेड विद ऋषिकेश टू 4 धाम हाईवे प्रोजेक्ट. नाउ देखो, टेक्निकली these 4 धाम्स आर कॉल्ड छोटा 4 धाम. चार धाम तो वैसे अपने रामेश्वर, पुरी, द्वारका एंड बद्रीनाथ. वन ऑफ दी धाम here Badrinath. These four form the चार धाम, but these are called छोटा चार धाम. ये चारों उत्तराखंड में है एंड यमुनोत्री, गंगोत्री, केदारनाथ एंड बद्रीनाथ. आप में से कोई गया है यहाँ पे? कितने चारों जगह एकदम बढ़िया. टाइम कैसे मिला? मुझे भी जाना है. आई वांट टू. कब गए? अच्छा, अलग अलग करके गए. एक तो अभी अभी कब गए थे? मुझे फंसा देते हो. प्रीलिम्स के प्रोग्राम, प्रीलिम्स की तैयारी करो और खुद निकल लेते हो. अ करंट अफेयर्स टीचर्स लाइफ इज बैड. तुम समझोगे नहीं. मैंने जब से करंट अफेयर्स पढ़ाना शुरू किया ना, अर्लियर एवरी मंथ आई यूज्ड टू रीड अ बुक, अ न्यू बुक. इट कुड बी फिक्शन, इट कुड बी हिस्ट्री, इट कुड बी एनीथिंग. 2017 से आज तक आई हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू रीड अ सिंगल, नॉट अ सिंगल. डाउन टू अर्थ पढ़ता हूँ, वो बुक नहीं मानता मैं उसे. न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ता हूँ या फिर आईआर की बुक्स पढ़ता हूँ, प्रिपरेशन मतलब आईआर के नोट्स अपडेट करने के लिए वो सारी. बट वो होता है ना कि आई टेक अ बुक, सर्दियों में छत पे बैठ जाऊंगा एंड फिर शाम को ही उठूंगा. दिन भर टैन होके, मेरे को भी टैनिंग होती है. तो दैट आई वंस रिमेंबर, मेरे पास ना मेरे को एक दोस्त ने 2012 में गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स की 4 बुक्स गिफ्ट करी. उस टाइम 4 ही आई थी. इट टुक मी अराउंड 7 days. वो चारों बुक मैंने खत्म कर ली थी. एंड देन जब गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स के एपिसोड आते हैं, मैं बताता हूँ क्या होगा. मैं सबको परेशान करता था. तो दैट वाज वन टाइम एंड देन आई बिकेम अ करंट अफेयर्स टीचर टू रूइन माय लाइफ. मैं रिटायरमेंट लेने वाला हूँ जल्दी. सेलेक्ट हो जाओ जल्दी से आप लोग सब, ताकि ये मत बोलो कि सर हमें हमारा सिलेक्शन होने के बाद, है ना. तो रिटायरमेंट लेने वाला हूँ. किससे? करंट अफेयर्स टीचर. ले लूँ? लायक अपना जीवन नहीं जीऊँ, है ना. So what happens is in case of other current affairs teacher, उनका मटेरियल वगैरह ना कोई और बना रहा होता है, तो दे डू नॉट हैव टू. मैं ना दूसरों को मटेरियल से पढ़ा नहीं पाता. मेरे को ऐसा खाली खाली सा लगता है. मेरे को लगता है कि जब तक मैंने खुद नहीं बनाया है तब तक आई डू नॉट नो द बैकग्राउंड में कैसे जाके बकचोदी करूँ. इफ आई हैव नॉट डन द रिसर्च, तो इसलिए टीचिंग करंट अफेयर्स इज वेरी चैलेंजिंग, वेरी वेरी चैलेंजिंग. चलिए, एनीवेज कम बैक. चार धाम एक्सप्रेस वे, नेशनल हाईवे. देखो, ये ऋषिकेश को इन चारों जगह से कनेक्ट कर रहा है. इट विल बी स्ट्रेचिंग अप टू 890 किलोमीटर्स एंड कनेक्टिंग द 4 श्राइन्स. मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड हाईवेज इज इंप्लीमेंटिंग द प्रोजेक्ट. ये सारे एस्पेक्ट्स हैं. नाउ द प्रॉब्लम इज इट इज फेसिंग challenge in Supreme Court because of environmental issue. Why? Because hilly terrain से when you will create these highways, कहीं broadening of the road होगा, कहीं tree cut होंगे, then the ecosystem would get affected. There are already Himalayas is very prone to landslides and all. तो इस वजह से this project has been challenged. Because of that, the project has also been delayed. But economy में as such, you should know about the project, where it is starting, which are the places it is covering. Plus, other than the Char Dham, there is also this Tanakpur to Pithoragarh connection as part of this. इसको भी थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखेंगे. ऋषिकेश से चारों धाम कनेक्ट है. एंड अदर देन दैट वी आल्सो हैव Tanakpur to Pithoragarh part of this project. Are we understanding? चार धाम प्रोजेक्ट. तो इंपॉर्टेंट रोड प्रोजेक्ट्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं. नाउ, प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना भी हैव ऑलरेडी डन. स्कीम्स वाला जो इकोनॉमिक सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया में रूरल इंडिया के लिए जो स्कीम्स था, उसमें वी हैड आल्सो टॉक्ड अबाउट द लेफ्ट विंग एक्सट्रीमिज्म वाला सब स्कीम व्हिच वाज पार्ट ऑफ प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना. ओके. रोड सेफ्टी. After the 2020 COVID blip, road fatalities on the rise again in 2021. Report which was published in December 2022. 2021 में 1.5 lakh, almost 1.54 lakh people died by road accident, which is 1.9% higher than 2019 numbers. Now, why are we comparing it with 2019 numbers? Because in 2020, because of lockdown, everything was closed. So number of deaths were much lower. तो उससे कंपेयर करेंगे, because of base effect we will see huge jump, but that jump is not huge. That jump, like वहां पे because of base effect the number was much less. So road accidents are causing 1.5 lakh deaths in India. This is the official number. International reports say that this number may actually be 3 lakh. In fact, there are some government reports also which say that जितनी deaths होती हैं उसके आधे ही government documents में report होती है. So in reality, around 3 lakh people, officially around 1.5 lakh people, in reality around 3 lakh people are dying every year in India because of road accidents. So 365 days, 3 lakh people dying, 3030, around 1000 people dying every day. 3 lakh 365, around 800 people dying every day. T-side सही है मेरी? 365, 3600, 36,000, 3.6 lakh. Yeah. Around 800 people dying every day because of road accidents. ध्यान रखा करो. It doesn't mean that बाकी सब में deaths नहीं होती. Percentage of people traveling there is much lesser. Number of deaths in roads are much higher. But due to this number, India has the most unsafe roads in the world. Not, देखो अब ये बोलना थोड़ा गलत हो. Why? Because only because of number of deaths we make it most unsafe. तो भूटान में कम लोग रहते हैं, रोड भी कम यूज होगा, डेथ भी कम होंगी ना. बट इवन इन टर्म्स ऑफ पर कैपिटा डेथ्स व्हिच आर टेकिंग प्लेस, इंडिया अनसेफ कंट्रीज में आता है व्हेन इट कम्स टू रोड एक्सीडेंट्स, डेथ्स ड्यू टू रोड एक्सीडेंट. इट्स अ कॉज ऑफ कंसर्न. ध्यान से रोड क्रॉस करा क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क पे होते हैं पेडेस्ट्रियन. डेथ जो हो रही है उसमें सबसे ज्यादा पेडेस्ट्रियंस आर फेसिंग प्रॉब्लम. ओके. As per Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the main causes of death: overspeeding 70%. Responsible गाड़ी वाले हैं, निपट हम लोग रहे हैं. Wrong side driving, use of mobile phones while driving, traffic rule violation. India is only about 2% of the world's motor vehicle, but have 12% of its traffic accident death. Now this is a problem. है ना, ये खराब चीज है which is happening because of we not following traffic rules. Third global ministerial conference on road safety was held in Stockholm. It was held in Stockholm in 2020. What has it said? Achieving global goals by 2030. Theme was achieving global goals by 2030. And what is the goal that they have set up? Stockholm Declaration calls for new global target to reduce road traffic deaths and injuries by 50% by 2030. Reduce road traffic accident death by 50% by 2030. ये याद रखिए. Global Road Conference, Global Ministerial Conference on Road Safety held in Stockholm. क्या है डिक्लेरेशन? स्टॉकहोम डिक्लेरेशन, हमें 50% से रिड्यूस करने हैं अपनी डेथ. We have to reduce these deaths by 50%. In addition, it invites strengthened efforts on activities in all 5 pillars of the global plan for decade of action: better road safety management, safer road vehicle and people, and enhanced post crash care. It's also focused on that. But prelims में देखो ये आएगा तो ये तो आप obviously टिक कर ही दोगे. Understand this, है ना? This is a figure, a data that you'll have to remember. If they give, we have to reduce it by 80% by 2030. We have, for that will not be able to logically do that. अगर ये सब आएगा तो हम logically कर पाएंगे. That's why highlight this, mark this. और जब आप रिवाइज करोगे तो स्टॉकहोम 50% death reduction by 2030 is something that should be revised, that should be highlighted. So a day before examination, when you are flipping through your notes, what would you look at? Will you look at the entire page? No, you will look at Stockholm 2030 में 50% reduction. These are the 3 things that you will look at. A day before exam, this is how much material you will have. है ना? You'll only be able to flip through it and look at the most important highlights. Are you understanding this? Okay. ईडर पोर्टल। अप्रैल 2022 में मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट हैज डेवलप्ड द पोर्टल नेम्ड ई डिटेल्ड एक्सीडेंट रिपोर्ट। ई डिटेल्ड एक्सीडेंट रिपोर्ट। व्हाट इज दिस पोर्टल? दिस पोर्टल has been given to a few stakeholders। जैसे जब एक्सीडेंट होता है तो पुलिस वाले पहुंचेंगे, तो दे विल टेक पिक्चर्स ऑफ द एक्सीडेंट साइट, दे विल make some report of the accident site, so those details would go where on this portal also। ऐसे ही दूसरे stakeholders, when they will be talking about this accident, the details would be uploaded here। So EDER is a web portal designed by government in consultation with insurance companies and will provide instant information on road accidents with a few clicks and help accelerate compensation claims, bringing relief to victim families। So everything related to this road accident you will be able to see instantly here on this portal, and it will be accessible to insurance companies, through which accelerated insurance claims would also be made available। Digitalized detailed accident report will be uploaded on the portal for easy access। The web portal will be linked to integrated road accident database from IRAD application to more than 90% of the data sets would be pushed directly to EDER, and more in future would be added to it। Okay, the Supreme Court bench led by Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul expressed satisfaction after technician demonstrated the working of this portal। The court in its detailed order recorded that EDER portal would conduct multiple checks against fake claims by conducting a sweeping search of vehicles involved in accident and date of accident and FIR। The portal would also be linked to other government portals like Vahan and would get access to information on driving license details of the registration, registration of vehicles। तो सारथी वाहन इन सब से भी इंटीग्रेटेड रहेगा। So now fake claims would also be reduced, plus genuine claims could be given in a fast track manner, could be compensated in a fast track manner। Got it? रोडवेज सेक्टर। तो रोडवेज सेक्टर का पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप मॉडल, पीपीपी मॉडल। There are various PPP models which are available in roadway sector। We have to discuss that, we have to deal with। देखो पीपीपी मॉडल क्या है? पीपीपी मॉडल में गवर्नमेंट एंड प्राइवेट प्लेयर्स आर पार्टिसिपेट। नाउ अर्लियर, right after independence, we did not have enough private players in roadways sector, plus they did not have enough resources or technical know-how that they will be involved in large scale projects। So most of the work was done by government only, and that is why our first prime minister focused on setting up PSUs, because private players did not have this kind of money or expertise। So for everything public sector entities were getting created। Are we understanding? But with time our project requirements went up, our funding requirements for infrastructure went up, private sector developed its expertise, they have also now got a lot of money। The government realized that the funds that we need, that it can be brought from private sector expertise is also there, they are more efficient, they are more fast, there would be less corruption there। Why not involve private sector in the development of infrastructure projects? So for this various PPP, public private partnership models were developed। For example, सबसे पहले roadways में the public private partnership model that was used was EPC model, engineering procurement and construction model। What is EPC model? EPC model में government says कि भाई I have to develop this highway, this 30 kilometers of highway, private player will engineer it, will procure material, will construct highway, but money would be given by government। The entire money would be given by government only, private players will come, and because they may do it better, they may do it more efficient, they may do it in less time frame when compared to government agencies। Did we understand the idea of EPC model? So the private players bid for the project and build it with pre-specified time and cost। It does not have any role in the road's ownership, toll collection and maintenance। Government with full ownership of the road takes care of the toll collection and maintenance of the road also। तो ये एक बार private player ने बना दिया पूरा road, now it is government's road because government has already paid them the money that they want। Is there any risk to the companies here? So there is almost no risk to the private company। Why? because they have to develop the project, they have bid on that, तो उन्होंने पूरा analysis करके bid किया होगा, so almost no risk barring road construction risk, so margins were also low. But there was a limitation of this kind of project. Government had to give a lot of money. All the money the government had to give, the government का resource constraint was a problem. The road construction would depend on how much money government is able to mobilize. This was one of the limitations of EPC, but it was the most common model. How much is this model being used? One of the most common methods still being used by government for construction of national highways, EPC. Private player का कोई risk नहीं है, but government has to give most of the resource, EPC. Then came build, operate, transfer model. Now, what is this? Sorry, second wala. Okay, this is the reason. Build, operate, transfer model. Build, operate, transfer model. In this model, what private sector would be asked to do? You build the road, you invest the money. EPC में government was investing the money. Here private sector will invest the money. Then you operate the road to recover your money, because road पे toll वगैरह से you will be recovering your money, and then transfer the ownership to government. Build, operate, transfer. Build, operate, transfer model. You build the road, you operate it, collect toll, recover your profit, recover your investment and some profit, and then transfer the ownership to government. BOT में we had two sub models, BOT toll and BOT annuity. In BOT toll, you will have this kind of mechanism. For next 15 years, we will be collecting the toll. For next 15 years, we will be collecting the toll, and will recover our money from there. But after 15 years, government will get ownership over everything. So here, the private sector in this model, in BOT toll model, private sector suffered from what is called traffic risk. Why? If enough traffic doesn't come here, toll would also be less. If toll would be less, the money that they will be able to recover would be less. The money that they will be able to recover would be less. Did we understand? Build, operate, transfer में build, operate, transfer toll model. There is traffic risk. Traffic risk is with whom? The private players. In annuity model, government says that annually we'll pay you some money. Toll collection is your responsibility, but it is our toll. You will operate the road, but it is our toll. Every year we'll give you some money, and that money can keep increasing also. With every year it can keep increasing to recover your investment, for you to recover your investment. So here traffic risk will not be with the private players. Why? Because it doesn't matter how much of toll is getting collected. Annuity is fixed for them. It will be given by government. It will be given by government. Did we understand? Build, operate, transfer, and build, operate, transfer में build, operate, transfer toll, build, operate, transfer annuity. Are we sure? Are we clear on this? Now, not a lot of people were interested in this model, because सारा का सारा investment उन्हें करना पड़ रहा था, and private players were still not that much interested in developing roads. So later, government came up with another model, hybrid annuity model. आपके नोट्स में है hybrid annuity model. Hybrid annuity model में क्या होगा? It is hybrid of EPC and BOT. EPC मतलब all the money was coming from government. So here government will pay 40% of the money. Remaining 60% will be paid by private players. And how would they recover the remaining 60%? By what? By operating and collecting money from there. This is hybrid annuity model. Are we understanding this? Are we understanding these three models? So these four models. पहला था EPC. First we studied EPC, then BOT toll, then BOT annuity, and then we have hybrid annuity. Are we very clear about the four models? Pakka. Now let's look at some more details. BOT toll, BOT annuity. BOT toll में ना 2020 में some changes were done to attract more people. इन changes को आप ध्यान से देखेंगे. You would see that revenue potential of the project would be reassessed every 5 years during the concession period against every 10 years. In BOT toll in 2020 तो BOT toll में क्या होता है पहले याद है? Build, operate, transfer. Private player will build the road, will operate it, and from toll it will collect some revenue. Now initially it is estimated that to collect this much of revenue you will need these many years. Yeah, but traffic may vary. So earlier that reassessment was done in 10 years, but now that reassessment can be done in 5 years. So it in a way reduces traffic risk a bit and attracts more people, more businesses to this. Right? Now BOT annuity में टोल किसको? BOT annuity में annuity गवर्नमेंट को जाएगा ना, उनका तो annuity payment fix है. Okay. Arshit is asking, Ham has bought annuity, no toll. Hybrid annuity model, EPC and annuity, yes. 40% पैसा गवर्नमेंट देगी, 60% operations के time in the form of annuity would be given by government. तभी तो नाम है hybrid annuity model. Okay. Revision in the So first, what change has been done? Did we understand? This reassessment would be done every 5 years. Second, revision in the concession period has been capped at 20%. Now this is something which is taken as negative. What is this meaning of revision of concession? Concession period is the period for which you have been given road to operate. It has been said that you will be able to recover your money in 15 years. So your concession period is 15 years. Now if in 15 years you are not able to recover your money, private player would want to give us some more years to recover our money. Government has capped that at 20%. 15 साल तो you 20% more, 3 more years, not more than. Revision in the concession period has been capped at 20% like earlier. So this is something which is seen as negative by the private players. Ki nahi, this could be higher. Flexibility of foreclosing the contract with mutual consent. In BOT toll, 10 years later, government may go to the private player and say, आपका इतना पैसा recover होना बाकी है ना, I'll give you that money, let's close it, let's give ownership to us right. That flexibility has been provided, but both the parties should agree to that. Mutual consent. BOT toll project will only be awarded only after NHAI takes possession of 90% of the requisite land, similar to HAM project. So BOT toll project में someone is responsible for EPC, engineering, someone is responsible for making the road, operating it, and then transferring the ownership. Now suppose I have taken the responsibility of making the road. Government is supposed to give me the land on which I'll make road. I have started making road, but थोड़ा सा land procure नहीं हुआ था, and because of that the project stopped. अब how am I supposed to get my money? It creates problem, no? So now it has been said that the project will be allocated to someone only when 90% of the land has already been acquired, so that this project doesn't stop and this private player does not get stuck here. Something like this has also been done in hybrid annuity model, limiting liability to 100% of total project cost for both NHAI and developer. This is largely beneficial to NHAI given the huge claim raised by developers in the past many of which were multiple times in the of the total project cost. So basically, NHAI awards private players for these kind of projects, and these private players sometimes seek compensation because of delays and all, and they can be much higher. Like आपको 1000 crore का project दिया गया, you may seek compensation of 5000 crore rupees because of delays and everything. So by this provision, they have capped the compensation to only 100% of the project cost, not more than. Okay, these are some changes which have been done. BOT annuity, do we understand? Hybrid annuity model, do we understand? Hybrid annuity में EPC model 40% and BOT annuity 60%. Here also, the project would be awarded only when 90% of the land has been acquired. Now, will this 40% of the money be given in the beginning only? No. This 40% of the money will be given in 5 installments on the completion of certain part of the project. जब इतना project खत्म हो गया तो 8% money would be given, then 8%. So from the beginning only, the private player will have to invest their money also, because all the money is not being, all 40% of the money, if it was given by government in the beginning only, then for the 40% of the project, the private player would not have needed to invest any money. But that's not the case. When 20% of the project gets over, you get 8% of the money, which is government share. Another 20%, another 8%. ऐसे ही 100% project जब पूरा होगा तो you get 40% of the money, right? Bidding will roll out only after 90% of the land has been acquired. Government pays a semi-annuity or annuity premium to the developer, thus shouldering the traffic risk. Because it's annuity model, so traffic risk is with government. Assured returns and insulation from revenue traffic risk for private players makes model more attractive. So this hybrid annuity model was brought in 2016. Got it? Key clarity here. Now, what happens is that private player constructed the road, BOT toll या BOT annuity या फिर hybrid annuity model में. Then they operated the road for a few years, let's say for 15 years, and then they gave ownership to government. यही होता है. This is the PPP model that we have looked at. EPC में the ownership is with the government from the very first day. BOT toll, BOT annuity and hybrid annuity model में for a few years it would be operated by private player, and then the road would come back to government. Then the road will come back to government. This is the scenario. Now when the road comes back to government, government has to operate the road. Operational responsibility goes back to NHAI, National Highway Authority of India. Now again, government body के पास जब काम आएगा, there would be some inefficiencies involved. सरकारी नौकरी करने वाले लोग थोड़े से आप जैसे होंगे. So what government has also started doing is they have started PPP projects in operational part also. अब रोड का ओनरशिप गवर्नमेंट के पास आ गया. Now what government has started doing, for 10 years you operate the road and give me some money. So private players will come and operate the road, will collect the revenue, will collect the tolls and everything, and initially government को एक lump sum amount दे देंगे for that 5-7 years, 10 years. This is OMT model, operate, maintain and transfer model. Under this model, selected concessionaire is required to take care of project operation and maintenance for a period of around 6 to 9 years, depending on when major project maintenance is due. There's a provision for fixed annual increase in payment by NHAI. Payment to NHAI irrespective of the traffic. So private player will be given the responsibility of operation and maintenance. NHAI will say, give me 100 crore rupees in the first year, 110 crore rupees in the second year, 120 crore rupees in third year, 140 crore rupees in fourth year, 150 crore rupees in fifth year, and so on. Give me this kind of money. जो excess money आप collect कर रहे हो, that is your money for your operation and maintenance. For your operation and maintenance. Do we understand this? समझ में आया सबको? पक्का? What is happening? Now there was a problem with this model, because this model, in this model, the operation and maintenance responsibility was being given to 6 to 9 years. तो कोई long term investment नहीं करना चाह रहा था private player. Private player would come, private player will operate and maintain the road, but they know कि if 3 years later something breaks in the road, they will
give a temporary fix which can go on for 2 to 4 years. They will not fix the road in such a way that that road can go on for 10 years or 20 years. And therefore, the quality of roads were becoming poor. Therefore, the quality of roads were becoming poor. Do we understand this? Relatively short tenure, contractor and obligation leads to participation mostly restricted to contractor and developers only. This is another aspect. Because the tenure was very small, 6 years or 7 years, so generally contractors or developers of the road themselves bid for it. Big companies which specialize in operation and maintenance did not come here. It does not promote long-term investment. That is, I have already talked about that. Provision for fixed annual increase in payment of NHAI irrespective of traffic also discouraged participation, because every year traffic may not be going up, but NHAI may keep on charging extra payment every year, and that's why it was not very successful. The government has come up with a new model called TOT, toll, operate and transfer model. OMT था पहले, toll, operate and transfer model. Now this is similar to OMT, but it's there for longer period. You will be given lease for 30 years to operate and maintain highway on a one-time upfront payment by a private player or pension fund. So suppose you are being given a stretch of road for operation and maintenance. You have the responsibility of operating and maintaining it for 30 years, and initially you may give government, let's say, 1000 crore rupees. You will give government 1000 crore rupees, and then you will operate and maintain the road for next 30 years. You will collect the toll, you will operate. तो ये वो लोग कर पाएंगे जिनके पास बहुत सारा पैसा है, because initially lump sum money to government has to be given. Now, because this contract is there for you for 30 years, if 4 years down the line something breaks, will you maintain it in a more effective manner? Yes, because you know that for next 25 years, it is going to be your responsibility. So whatever is the cost effective mechanism, whatever is the method by which we can improve the situation for long term, that would be the focus area. This is OMT model, operate, maintain and transfer model, but these are operational models. Do we understand both of these aspects? Now there are some other PPP models. ये terms news में रहते हैं. Build, own, lease, transfer model. Now what is this build, lease, transfer or build, own, lease, transfer model? Under this model, it involves building a facility, leasing it to government and transferring the facility after recovery of investment primarily taken up for railway projects. So what is the idea? You will build the facility, private player will build the facility, then they will lease the facility to government. वो government को rent पे दे देंगे वो facility. Government से rent recover करेंगे, and after enough money has been recovered, they will transfer the ownership to government. Eventually the ownership will have to be transferred to government. Build, own, you will be owning it and leasing it to government. Lease, then transfer. Bold. Build, you will be owning it and you will rent it to government in the period of your ownership, and then through that rent you will recover your funds and then you will transfer it to government. Bold, B-O-L-T. This is generally used in railways, primarily taken up by railway projects such as gauge conversion in India in the past with limited success. Gauge, जब हम narrow gauge को broad gauge में या standard gauge में convert कर रहे हैं, we will ask private players to do that. So private players will own it, they have built it, they will operate it, they will lease it to government because trains will have to move on it. So they will lease this new rail to government. Government will use it on rent and government will pay some payment to the private player. And after they have recovered their money, they will do what? They will transfer the ownership to government. Bolt, B-O-L-T. रेलवेज में यूज हो रहा है, तो हमने रोड्स वाले खत्म हो गए, ये कुछ और टर्म्स न्यूज में रहते हैं, तो वी आर ब्रीफली कवरिंग इट. देन देयर इज बिल्ड ट्रांसफर लीज मॉडल. बिल्ड ट्रांसफर लीज मॉडल. तो हियर देखो, इस वाले में एसेट ओनरशिप ड्यूरिंग लीज टाइम किसके पास था? प्राइवेट प्लेयर के पास. प्राइवेट प्लेयर बिल्ड इट, it will own it and will lease it to government. Later, after that concessional period is over, then you will transfer it to ownership. In this model, build, transfer and lease model, asset ownership during contract is with public. तो बिल्ड करने के बाद आप ट्रांसफर कर दे रहे हो, बिल्ड करने के बाद आप ट्रांसफर कर दे रहे हो किसे, गवर्नमेंट को. इन्वॉल्व बिल्डिंग एन एसेट, ट्रांसफरिंग इट टू गवर्नमेंट एंड लीजिंग इट बैक. देन यू आर लीजिंग इट बैक. हियर द प्राइवेट सेक्टर डिलीवर्स द सर्विस एंड कलेक्ट्स यूजर चार्जेस. तो यू विल लीज इट बैक, यू विल लीज इट बैक एंड उसको लीज करने के बाद यू विल ऑपरेट इट, you will earn collect money from it, and then after the lease period is over, the ownership again goes to government. Ownership तो हमेशा government के पास है, even the lease वाला aspect goes to government. This is another method, another PPP method. So we'll talk about these PPP methods more when we come to railways and waterways and shipping sector. सब में अलग अलग PPP methods होंगे, but in roadways the PPP methods which are used, are we very clear about it? PPC, BOT toll, BOT, NVT, hybrid NVT model, and then operational models में we have TOT and OMT. Numbering system of national highways. एक ना 2014 में क्वेश्चन आ गया था नेशनल हाईवे के नंबरिंग का, कि कौन से हाईवे का कौन सा नंबर, मैच करने वाला. एंड that question was not supposed to be, that question was not a question which was supposed to be done by remembering the number of national highways. It was a question on, do you understand how numbering of national highways happens? Because all the matches there were wrong. If you understood the basic of how numbering happened, then you would have, without even knowing कि कौन सा highway कौन से number का है, you would have marked them wrong. Okay. Sir, does traffic risk means toll will be collected by private player? देखो, ऑपरेशन प्राइवेट प्लेयर कर रहा है तो टोल तो एनवीटी में भी वही कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं और बीओटी टोल में भी वही कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं. टोल इज ऑलवेज बीइंग कलेक्टेड बाय प्राइवेट प्लेयर ओनली if private player is operating it. But traffic risk means that recovery of money of private player is happening through toll. In NVT model, the recovery is not happening through toll. Government is paying them NVT, right? But in toll model, their recovery is happening through toll collection. So there they have traffic risk. Okay. Piyush, I hope I have answered your question. समझ में नहीं आया तो फिर से बताइएगा. I'll write it on board and then explain it. Sir, there may be many new challenges. What about traffic is reduced? What of monopoly because very few companies in terms of expertise? What is mechanism to deal with it? देखो, he's saying कि sir OMT में there may be many more challenges. Monopoly may be created. Those kind of. So generally, the solution would be in long term we'll have many more companies which are specialized in this business of operating roadways, operating and maintaining roadways for long term. What if traffic is reduced? देखो, if traffic is reduced, the private company would be at loss. Why? Because it has done some estimation. Based on that, it has given the initial amount to government. ये bidding के process से होगा. Company one would come and say, I'll give you this much money. Next company would say, no, I'll give more money. So जो भी सबसे ज़्यादा bid कर रहा होगा, government will give contract to lease to that particular company. And if that company is not able to generate that kind of revenue, it would be at loss. ना business में तो होता है. Now, how roads are numbered or how national highways are numbered? देखो, जो दिल्ली से जयपुर नेशनल हाईवे जाता है, that is national highway. कहाँ हो जयपुर वाली लड़की? बस से जाती हो ना? कौन से हाईवे से ट्रैवल करती हो? नहीं पता. इट यूज टू बी NH8 पहले. अब मैंने बोला तो पीछे से कोई बोलेगा. कौन बोला? तुम बोले. मुंह क्यों छिपा रहे हो? तुम्हें बोले. It used to be NH8, but now its number is NH48. Okay, so now numbering देखो follows some convention. हमने बोला है कि जो ईस्ट टू वेस्ट रोड जा रहे होंगे एंड जो नॉर्थ टू साउथ जा रहे हैं, ईस्ट टू वेस्ट वालों का नंबर क्या होगा, ऑड होगा, और नॉर्थ टू साउथ वालों का इवन होगा। ईस्ट टू वेस्ट की नंबरिंग ऊपर से शुरू होगी, हाईवे 1, नेशनल हाईवे 2, नेशनल हाईवे 3 एंड सो ऑन। एंड नॉर्थ टू साउथ वालों की नंबरिंग ईस्ट से शुरू होगी, 1 2 3, नहीं, हाँ राइट, अच्छा 1 2 नहीं, मैं गड़बड़ कर दी, 2 4 6, इवन इवन इवन, आई एम सॉरी, I'm over. Let me remove this altogether. Let me start from. हाँ, तो ईस्ट टू वेस्ट वालों का नंबर क्या होगा, ऑड 1 3 5 7 एंड सो ऑन। नॉर्थ टू साउथ वालों का नंबर क्या होगा, इवन 2 4 6, ऐसी जैसे आप दिल्ली टू जयपुर जा रहे हो 48। तो इफ आई आस्क यू नेशनल हाईवे का हाईएस्ट नंबर किस तरफ होगा, इवन, इट विल बी समवेयर हियर, गुजरात में, राजस्थान से गुजरात को कुछ कनेक्ट कर रहा होगा। नेशनल हाईवे ऑड नंबर सबसे बड़ा वाला कौन सा होगा, यू विल से इट वुड बी समवेयर हियर, राइट। दिस इज द न्यू मेथड, 2010 के बाद वी हैव स्टार्टेड यूजिंग दिस मेथड। अर्लियर वी हैड रैंडमली नंबर्ड हाईवेज। व्हाई, पहले जो सबसे बड़े रोड्स थे उन्हें 1 2 3 4 कर दिया, बट देन more roads, more national highways kept on getting added and numbers were given randomly, and thus it had become very confusing. So in 2010 we came up with a new numbering mechanism, and in 2014 UPSC asked the question, highway number this is between these two cities, 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 कौन सा correct है? So you did not have to remember the numbers, you could have seen दिल्ली और जयपुर के बीच में ये तो नॉर्थ टू साउथ है ना, नॉर्थ टू साउथ मींस इवन होना चाहिए, they have given odd in front of it, it is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong, it is also wrong, none of the above. The question could be solved in that manner, and that's why this method of numbering is important. Method of numbering is important. Do we understand the method of numbering now? Now we'll go into some more details, but first have clarity on this numbering mechanism. एक सेकंड, कहो ठीक है, आ गया, ठीक, where did the chart go? Here it is. Let's go back to, do we all have clarity on this numbering mechanism? Let's go back to, on 28th April 2010 Ministry of Road Transport and Highways came up with the new numbering mechanism. What is the mechanism? All east-west highways now have odd numbers, and it will start from north. So National Highway 1 is in J&K and National Highway 87 is in Tamil Nadu. 187, odd east to west, yeah, west to east same thing. All north-south highways are even numbered and starting in east. In other words, the greater the longitude, the smaller the northern highway NS number, and vice versa. Major highways have single or double digit numbers. Now, this is an important aspect. See, there are some major highways, and then उन highways से निकलते हुए और दूसरे national highways हैं, non-major ones, but they are national highways. So, major highways have single or double digit numbers. जैसे we said 1 2 3, oh sorry, 1 3 5 7, ऐसे going till 87, single digit or double digit. In the same way 2 4 6, these are major highways, they will be single digit or double digit. अब offshoots of these highways, highway number 1 और highway number 87, J&K में highway number 1 होगा, highway number 87 would be there in Tamil Nadu if there is an offshoot. Now if offshoot is in east to west direction or north to south direction, उसके बेसिस पे उसका भी नंबरिंग होगा। कैसे? फॉर एग्जांपल ऑफशूट ऑफ नेशनल हाईवे 2, नेशनल हाईवे 2 कहाँ पे होगा? नॉर्थ ईस्ट में होगा, are numbered 102, 202, 302, 502, where last two digit indicate major highway. 02 is indicating major highway because इसका number 02 था, अपना highway का number 2 था, so last two digit are indicating major highway, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 are indicating offshoots from this major highway. क्या हुआ? In the numbering of offshoot highways, the first digit of the 3-digit number will indicate direction. If the first digit is odd number, it says the road is east to west direction. So 102. अच्छा, पहले 02 is representing major highway. 02 कहां पे होगा? नॉर्थ ईस्ट में, नॉर्थ टू साउथ 02. 1 is indicating east to west. तो 102 हाईवे नॉर्थ टू साउथ का ऑफशूट होगा ईस्ट टू वेस्ट वाला. 202 नॉर्थ टू साउथ का ऑफशूट होगा बट नॉर्थ टू साउथ. 302 अनदर ऑफशूट ईस्ट टू वेस्ट एंड सो. उसके अलावा भी ऑफशूट्स में हैव ऑफशूट्स दैट वुड बी नंबर्ड in A, B, C, D and so on. They say 966A. Now if we have to think where would this highway be? So 66 would be representing major highway, है ना? अगर 66 है तो it must be in west of India. 48 हमारा दिल्ली जयपुर है तो उसके उधर जाके होगा 66, right? 9 is what? Odd, east to west. तो 66 का east to west है ना? तो 66 के ईस्ट टू वेस्ट हाईवे कौन से होंगे? ऑफशूट कौन से होंगे? 166, 366, 566, 766, 966 और उसके बाद उसके भी ऑफशूट्स हो जाएंगे ए बी सी डी. वहां पे डिफरेंशिएशन हैज नॉट बीन डन फॉर, एल्स थिंग्स वुड हैव बीन वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. Suffixes A, B, C, D, etc. are also added to 3-digit sub-highway to indicate small spin-off or stretches of sub-highways and so on. So please note, as per the new system, there are 218 national highways in the country. East to west, there are 44. National Highway 1 to National Highway 87. 1, 3 ऐसे करके 87 तक जाओगे तो there are 44 east to west highways. North south में there are 34. National Highway 2 to National Highway 68. Some important highways. National Highway 2 runs from Dibrugarh in Assam to Tuipang in Mizoram. The easternmost north to south national highway. National Highway 44 Srinagar to Kanyakumari to Delhi, Agra, Hyderabad, longest national highway. National Highway 48 Delhi to Chennai वाला जो कि जयपुर से भी जाएगा. अगली बार जाना बस में तो पता रखना you have traveled through National Highway 48. That's the fun of this preparation. No, आप कहीं भी जा रहे हो, you will know something about. You'll know something about. So now notice on which highway. एक तो कोई आपको बता देगा बैंगलोर हैदराबाद हाईवे में, टेल मी द नंबर and you'll be able to guess in which direction you are moving and where you are going. Highway numbers have been done in this systematic manner. So National Highway 48 Delhi to Chennai, which will also go through Jaipur. It includes Delhi to Jaipur, including Kishangarh Express, National Expressway 1, Udaipur to Vadodara to Bombay. That it was old NH8. NH68, westernmost north-south highway, Jaisalmer to Radhanagar in Gujarat. NH1, northernmost, east to west, Uri Srinagar to Leh. NH19. So Leh में है तो अब please remember it will also be going to Ladakh, Union Territory of Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, Union Territory of Ladakh. Then NH19, New Delhi to Kolkata. It goes to Agra, Varanasi, Asansol. It was part of Golden Quadrilateral and a major portion of the historical GT road. NH27 starts from Porbandar and terminates in Silchar, longest east-west highway. This is the longest east-west highway, NH27. NH87 is a national highway in southern India which crosses the famous Pamban Bridge. 87 was the what? Southernmost east to west highway. It crosses the Pamban Bridge and takes you where? Rameshwaram. है ना? So it takes you there. ये मैप है, थोड़ा सा देख लीजिएगा, rough idea you will get. Now इन रोडवेज सेक्टर थोड़ा सा पुराना है, 2021 में इंट्रोड्यूस है BH सीरीज ऑफ नंबर. Does anyone of you have BH सीरीज नंबर? जैसे DL नंबर होता है, दिल्ली का नंबर है, HR हरियाणा का नंबर है, BH भारत का नंबर, भारत सीरीज. Now, why भारत सीरीज ऑफ नंबर had to be introduced and who can get it? किसी ने पिछले 2 साल में गाड़ी ली है अपने लिए, तो नंबर कौन सा लिया? ऑल इंडिया नंबर ली. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways have notified BH series of registration which people can opt for. Ab why the BH series? Why the BH series? Think of some people, let's say आनंद की बात करते हैं. आनंद becomes a income tax officer, IRS officer बन जाता है आनंद. Now IRS officers sometimes they'll be posted in Mumbai, sometimes they'll be posted in Delhi, sometimes they'll be posted in Kolkata. They can have these kind, they are in central sector, कौन से सेंट्रल सर्विसेज में उनका ट्रांसफर कहीं भी होता रह सकता है अलग अलग स्टेट्स में. एक तो उन्हें सरकारी गाड़ी वहां मिल जाएगी, बट दे में ऑल्सो हैव पर्सनल कार, राइट. मान लो आनंद इज अ हाईली ऑनेस्ट ऑफिसर एंड फॉर पर्सनल यूज ही वांट्स अ पर्सनल कार. व्हेन ही मूव्स फ्रॉम दिल्ली टू मुंबई, अगर आप 1 साल से ज्यादा के लिए कार लेके जा रहे हो तो यू विल हैव टू take NOC, get the number change, pay road tax of that state. These kind of things you have to do. You have to get an NOC from the current state and then re-register the vehicle in other state where the vehicle will be located. As per the Motor Vehicle Act, a vehicle can reside in another state with the same registration for 12 months, during which it has to be re-registered in the new state. तो 1 साल तक ये दिल्ली वाले नंबर से मुंबई में रह सकता है, महाराष्ट्र में रह सकता है, but after that it has to be re-registered with the new state. There is also an issue of paying road tax. When you buy a vehicle now, you pay road tax for the entire period. 15 साल की पीरियड के लिए आप रोड टैक्स पे कर देते हो, बट यू हैव पेड रोड टैक्स इन दिल्ली, नाउ यू आर मूविंग टू महाराष्ट्र, so you'll have to get road tax reimbursed from here, और सरकार से पैसा रिम्बर्स करवाना. People give it up कि भाई नहीं रिम्बर्स करवाना हम, right? So you and then you'll have to pay road tax for the remaining period there. This process is very cumbersome and varies from one state to another. Thus the problem. So for these kind of people जो multiple states में काम करेंगे फ्यूचर में, भारत series of numbers have been brought. The system of allocating BH series of registration will be completely online without the vehicle owner having to figure out the complicated red tape. This whole system would be online. Government has amended the Central Motor Vehicle Rules 1989 and has mandated that vehicles bearing the BH registration mark will not require to be re-registered in a new state once it is relocated. BH series है तो it doesn't have to be re-registered there. First, second, who is eligible? Anyone who is a government PSU employee, state or center, state government का या center का is eligible. So you people would be eligible, right? आपके लिए यूजफुल है भारत सीरीज. Second, in private sector, if the company has offices in 4 different states, then we may become eligible. So LevelUp IS के 4 offices, 4 अलग अलग states में, so I may also become eligible for BH series car, है ना? She has to apply by filing a form 60 and furnish valid employment ID proof online. The state authorities will verify the proof and then assign BH registration. The registration number will be randomly generated by computer, ऐसे VIP numbers and those kind. BH numbers would be randomly generated. What about tax issue? Tax तो आप एक स्टेट में शुरू में दे दिया ना आपने पूरा. But when you are taking BH series of number, vehicle being registered under BH registration will be levied tax for 2 years only, and thereafter in multiple of 2 years, instead of the owner paying the whole amount for 15 years. The road tax that you pay when you buy a car will only be paid for 2 years for BH series, and हर 2 साल बाद you'll keep paying if you are staying in the same state, so that your 15 years money doesn't get stuck here and then you are running behind. If you move to some other state, you have to withdraw the money. This
frees the owner from seeking refund before or after relocation as the tax hasn't been repaid. After completion of 14 years, the motor vehicle tax will be charged annually. 14 years के बाद it will be for BH series number, it will be taxed annually, which shall be half of the amount which was charged earlier for that vehicle. This would be this is the kind of number you will get. 21 year of registration, BH code of the series, XXXX 4 numbers randomly generated, AA 2 letters of English alphabet that also randomly generated. This is the kind of number we'll have, and those with transferable jobs like those in defense, railways, other government employees or even private sector employees who may switch companies or cities, उन सब के लिए this would be beneficial. तो देखो, though it happened in 2021, but it's kind of important. We see BH series things around us. तो अब नेशनल हाईवे का नंबर बदला 2010 में. When was it asked in the examination? 2014 में. And we are still doing it because all of us go through national highways. वो हाईवेज और वो सब हम ज्योग्राफी बुक्स में भी पढ़ते हैं, तो वी मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट. फाइन. तो ऑफशूट फिर से समझा दीजिए. ऑफशूट, अरे यार तुम देखो, these were the main highways, major highways. Now suppose there is this small road offshoot which is also national highway. Now think of this national highway 1. इसका ये वाला ऑफशूट वुड बी नंबर्ड एज, देखो फर्स्ट ऑफशूट नॉर्थ साउथ, तो क्या होगा 01 इधर वाला नंबर एंड दिस वुड बिकम 2, राइट? एम आई राइट? डू वी ऑल अंडरस्टैंड? दिस हाईवे इज 01 and offshoot would be numbered 2. This offshoot would be numbered 401. This offshoot would be numbered 601. बट यहाँ पे एक ऑफशूट ऐसा भी आएगा जो ईस्ट वेस्ट में जा रहा हो, तो अकॉर्डिंगली नंबरिंग वुड बी देयर. एंड देन ऑफशूट के भी सब शूट्स हो सकते हैं, दे वुड बी नंबर्ड A B C D ऐसे 601A, 601B, 601C, 601D and so on. Fine. I hope you have understood. नहीं, किसने का नंबर ऑफ मेजर हाईवेज फिक्स कर? even the offshoots. Nee, these are those highways. Offshoots can also be included in major highway. Understand it. Offshoots can also be major highways. ऑफशूट कंसिडर करेंगे, जो मेन हाईवे क्रिएट हो गए ना, उससे कनेक्टेड कोई और हाईवे क्रिएट होंगे, उन सबको ऑफशूट करना. अदरवाइज तो नंबरिंग में प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी ना बहुत सारी. हाँ, नहीं, वी हैव फिक्स्ड दिस नंबर एंड देन वी विल क्रिएट ऑफशूट. ओके. ओके, तो पीएमपी स्टूडेंट्स, आपकी कल से 3 बजे से क्लास है ज्योग्राफी की. पीएमपी वाले बच्चों की 3 बजे से क्लास है ज्योग्राफी की, ठीक है. एंड करंट अफेयर्स वाले बच्चों की 5 बजे से नॉर्मल क्लासेस हैं, जो अपनी नॉर्मल टाइमिंग है 5 to 9:30. दैट इज व्हाट वी विल डू. हमारा ना सिलेबस मोर और लेस खत्म हो गया है, इन द सेंस साइंस, एनवायरमेंट और इकोनॉमी रिमेन्स द बिगेस्ट पोर्शन ऑफ करंट अफेयर्स. वी हैव डन दैट. तो आप लोगों को वो ज्यादा बड़ी बड़ी क्लासेस या बहुत सारी क्लासेस करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. कभी कभी पड़ेगी. पॉलिटी में मैं एक दिन आऊंगा, पूरे दिन पढ़ा दूंगा, या इंटरनेशनल बॉडीज में आके पूरे दिन पढ़ा दूंगा, बट मोर और लेस थिंग्स हैव बीन डन. तो आप फोकस ऑन द बेसिक पार्ट्स. I'll keep on doing RTFQs, I'll keep on doing updates, I'll keep on doing polity वगैरह, है ना. in the last week we'll take 2 lectures on mapping. वो सब लोग अच्छे से अटेंड करिएगा, है ना. You will see that last year mapping से 5 क्वेश्चन आ गए थे इंटरनेशनल वाले से. एंड go to the last class that we had uploaded on YouTube. हमने जो अपने करंट अफेयर्स बैच में जो लास्ट क्लास अपलोड करी थी ना, उन 5 में से 4 क्वेश्चन you could have done from there. तो डोंट मिस एनी ऑफ द क्लासेस. बट जो अपना सेक्शन चल रहा है अभी, पॉलिटिक्स चल रहा है, उसमें ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है क्या पढ़ना, लक्ष्मीकांत या डीडी बसु या वॉट एवर बुक यू आर स्टडिंग. करंट अफेयर्स इज इंपॉर्टेंट बट नॉट इतना, मतलब यू शुड नॉट इग्नोर लक्ष्मीकांत वाला पार्ट. और संडे को टेस्ट है आपका, आपके पास सिलेबस है मॉडर्न इंडिया और पॉलिटी का. चलिए, I'll see you tomorrow at 5 PM. Current affairs students, I'll see you tomorrow at 5 PM. You may have a डैम्प ऑनलाइन कर लेना, अगर वो 5 बजे से पहले हो रहा हो तो. ऐसे 2 बजे हो रहा हो तो उसे ऑनलाइन कर लेना.
सॉरी डैम बोल रहा हूँ, RTFQ, यू मे हैव RTFQ। तो अगर वो 5 बजे से पहले हो रहा होगा, अगर 2 बजे से हो रहा होगा तो उसे ऑनलाइन कर लेना, ठीक है, बट डू दोज RTFQs ऑल्सो। थैंक यू। क्लास बेटा पॉलिटी की लेते। अच्छा एक और चीज, रुकिए, शुड आई स्टार्ट पॉलिटी टुमारो या पहले ये खत्म कर दे? ये खत्म कर दे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। हाँ एक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, चलो आई विल डू इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर टुमारो, देन आई विल स्टार्ट विद पॉलिटी ऑन सैटरडे।